your videos, microphones. We're live on YouTube. Room is unmuted. Okay.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Committee of Adjustment hearing today. And in accordance with the sections 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. The Committee of Adjustment consider applications for variances from the provision of the zoning, and that applies to property, and also permission to extend or alter lawful non-conforming uses, and also consent to serve property to create new lots. And my name is Yim Chen. I will be the chair of today's hearing, and I'd like to also introduce our panel member today from our far left is Mr. Peter Reid, and Ms. Katie Placier, and Ms. Ann Crawford, and also Mr. Dino Lombardi. And our Deputy Secretary Treasurer is Sabrina Salentino. And I'd also like to acknowledge the land that we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anasabe, the Chippewa, and also the Haudenosaunee and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nation, Inuit, Métis peoples, and also we also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 of the Mississaugas of Credit. Committee of Adjustment public hearings are now conducted in hybrid, in-person, and virtual format. Some applicants or participants will make their presentation or submission in person, and others will participate virtually through WebEx. The meeting also streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wishing to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. Those who want to participate virtually and have registered in advance will be connected with their computer, tablet, smartphone, or telephone, and have the options of participating via video or audio only. All virtual participants will automatically be muted on entry, and when an item is called, you will be unmuted by the moderator. And we ask you also mute all your devices until you're called to speak. And those participating by video appearance will be temporarily upgraded to panelists when your item is being held. During this time, your camera will be enabled, and you will only be visible during your 5 minutes speaking time. And all other times, your video will be disabled, and you will be restated as attendee. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee of Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with the written submission deadline. Those participating through WebEx are not allowed to use share screen or any other panelists control during a video appearance. And how to receive a decision of the committee. People attending in person today who want to receive a copy of the decision of the committee on an application must fill out the decision request card, and those participating virtually need to submit a written request for a decision by email. Please ensure that you include your name, address, and email address, because the Committee of Adjustment and the Toronto local appeal body, TLABs, will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email. And if you do not agree with the decision of committee, you may be able to appeal the decision to the Toronto local appeal body, or in some limited circumstances to the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act generally removed rights of third parties to appeal a Committee of Adjustment decision. Only the applicant, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, specified persons and public bodies, as those terms defined in the Planning Act, are permitted to appeal the Committee of Adjustment decision. And the following is the hearing procedure, and I will call each item in the order of listed on our agenda. And when an application is not contested, the agent or applicant may proceed with the presentation if desired. When the committee does not require presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee might ask questions and or take the matter into committee for decision. and each speaker, including the applicant or agent, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee, and I will comment when you're reaching your 5 minutes. Any presentation of other materials you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of the hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept materials during the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clarify your name, clearly state your name and address, and please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the committee on the application. And please note, committee might not entertain revisions to proposal at the hearing today. The committee might decide to defer the application if substantially revised to ensure that the revised application is accurate and that all those entitled to notice are informed of the changes. Then individuals either in support or opposed to the application will be invited to speak. Generally, we will invite the speakers in the room first, and then we'll move on to online participants. And committee members will also ask questions of each speaker, and when they finish their presentation. When all the speakers are finished, the applicant agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues were raised by the speakers. And this will mark the end of discussion, and the application will then be taken into committee for a decision. And the following is I'd like to know whether we have any closed filed or deferral request.
Through you, Madam Chair, see none for this afternoon.
Yeah, and I also like to know this afternoon session, do we have declare of conflict of interest from staff or from, okay. So let's proceed with the first item on the agenda, and that is item number 18.
I apologize, Madam Chair. I'm having connection issues. WebEx has crashed for me, so
Okay,
I'll
we have to
just
turn-
continue to work on that.
Okay, we'll wait, so.
Through you, Madam Chair, you can probably proceed because we do have quorum.
Oh, okay, so I just, at least we read the purpose of the application. It's a very long one, so we'll take time. All right, so it is 41 and 43 WINEVA Avenue. This is to obtain a consent to transfer the property into 2 undersized residential lots and to maintain and create new easements and all right-of-ways. The first part of the application is to convert the existing 2-story semi-detached dwelling with 2 dwelling units in a 2-story semi-detached dwelling, which is a houseplex, and with 3 residential, with 3 dwelling units, and also to alter the existing front, second, and third-story covered balconies by adding new privacy screen. The existing rear garage with 1 parking space will address, with 3 parking spaces remain and 1 parking space allocated to this lot, and 2 parking spaces allocated to the north abutting conveyor lot. And the rear garage will be accessed through a shared drive right-of-way easement. There will be a total of 3 dwellings on this lot. And the second part of the application is to convert the existing 2-story semi-detached dwelling with 2 dwelling units into 2-story semi-detached dwelling. It's a houseplex with 3 dwelling units, and also to alter the existing front and second and third-story covered balconies by adding new privacy screen. Parking will be provided in the existing rear garage, and with 2 parking spaces allocated to this lot. This rear garage will be accessed through a shared drive easement. There will be a total of 3 dwellings on this lot. And we will receive a draft of the survey site plan, floor plan elevations, and also 6 photographs of the subject property and cover letter from the agent. We also receive comment from community planning and transportation engineering, and also a staff report from development engineering. and also from within natural feature protection from urban forestry. And that's all the material we receive, and we are ready for the agent.
Through the chair, I'm just having some technical issues with my laptop.
Okay. Who's this? Is us? Okay.
Sorry, I just cannot present any materials at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I'm the agent, Bill Oatred.
Okay,
Do you
let's
want me to
just
hold
hold,
Let's
through you,
hold
Madam Chair,
because,
let's
yeah.
just hold off. Members, can you just turn off your videos at this time
Okay.
until we deal with the technical issues?
Okay.
Just make sure your microphones are turned off as well. Okay, members, please turn on your videos, microphones, and we'll proceed.
Okay, yeah, we continue, and then we're ready for the applicants for item 18, ABC.
Yes, through your chair, Madam Chair, we have the agent online, and there are no speakers for this item.
No other speakers, and no, okay, thank you, yeah.
Okay, good afternoon, Madam Chair.
Yes, good, we get to hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes,
give us your
my
name
name is
and
Bill.
address, yeah, yeah.
yeah, my name is Bill Outred, 2140 Winston Park Drive, Oakville, Ontario. Thank you for laying out the application. Certainly takes away from some of my presentation that I was going to provide, but I'll just be relatively brief here to suggest that these builds, they were all original semis rentals along WINEVA. There's been many applications over the years to convert them to semi-detached with 2 separate ownerships. They've all done the same thing that we are in this instance, applying for the consent as well as the required variances to facilitate, allowing them to be 2 separate ownerships. And as well, in this instance, we're obviously looking at the 3 units. These have gone through 3 units in each semi. These have gone through the full zoning review, planning. There's no concerns from any departments. We've addressed all the departmental comments. Just as a note, the severance for the northerly severed lot at 43 WINEVA will include a easement right-of-way that's existing as part 1, and the new easement right-of-way is part 2. That will be a shared area for the common driveway. The other variances we're requesting, simply put, the frontage 7.5 meters required. We have 6.78 for each semi. 50% landscape requirement in the rear. We have 0% soft landscaping that's existing. We have agreed with the Transportation Works Department to change the paved area in front of the 3 garages to permeable paving. That's no issue whatsoever. The other variance is just the depth. Existing dwelling has a depth of 18.76 meters, 17 meters is required. The last variances for both is the lot area, 225 meters squared required. We have 222.8. So once again, this is very unique to the area. I think the majority of these existing builds have gone through the same process. No staff comments. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I have question for you. Any questions? Or is that, okay, we're ready to discuss this? Okay, we do not have any questions. We are ready to discuss this now. Okay, please, go ahead, yeah. All right, please, Dino, yeah.
I'll take this one. Yeah, I'm very familiar with this street and this neighborhood. This is a pretty straightforward application in my mind. The street consists primarily of a semi-detached, larger homes in the beach area. It's an existing situation. The consent to sever request is simply to allow the semis to be under different ownerships, individual ownerships. So I'm prepared to put forward a motion supporting the application and granting the variances requested, subject to there are a couple of conditions, 2 from development engineering related to the consent to sever, and condition number 3 from urban forestry. But I also will defer to my colleagues if they have any comments.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, please, Peter, yeah.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, I agree. I think this is a very straightforward, almost technical application. The only suggestion I would have would be maybe tying it to the landscape plan to ensure that the rear yard is replaced with permeable paving.
Do you have the number of that plan? Is this called a landscape plan?
It's called landscape plan.
Oh, okay. That's okay. There's ones, and we know which one. Like, oh, yeah, that's right. There's no number. It's a landscape plan. All right.
Is there a date on it, perhaps? Just to tie it?
Yeah, I can't, okay, try to see. It seems to be,
Could we ask the applicant?
Yeah,
to
well,
come
yeah,
out of committee?
we will bring back applicant. Can you tell us when you submit the landscape plan? When is it got a date on it?
Yeah, I'm looking at the plan right now. I don't see any date. But possibly in the,
Oh, we can just say that as part of the, way.
Submitted to the Committee of
That's
Adjustment?
committee assessment, yeah.
yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. So that would be 3 sets of conditions. So for the consent to sever, it would be the 2 conditions from Development Engineering,
Yes.
and then Urban Forestry Condition 3, and then a third tying the landscape plan to the approval, and that would be the landscape plan that was provided, submitted to the Committee of Adjustment.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the motion. Peter, you want to second?
Yeah, I'd like to second that, thanks.
Yeah, with the conditions, all in favor?
I think you have to go without me for this one. I'm having WebEx issues.
Oh, so we will say that you're absent, right? Okay, yeah, and absent, okay. Oh, I thought it was Ms. Plessy had the problem, but now you have.
Yeah, I'm having additional problems at the moment. My Adobe isn't working either, so.
Me too. I'm going to just reboot my computer.
Okay,
I'm
through you,
frozen.
Madam Chair, if everyone can turn off their videos.
Okay, so we do the
mute.
vote late again, right, or not?
We can do the vote again,
Yeah,
but
because it was
just
3
turn
members.
off, let's turn off the videos.
Okay,
Let's mute your microphones. Let's take a 5-minute break, reboot the system, and then come back into it, okay? Okay, members, let's try this again. Turn on your videos, microphones, let's unmute the room. Thank you for everyone's patience during our technical issues.
yes.
Okay, so there was a motion to
Yes.
approve the application with conditions from Mr. Lombardi, second by Mr. Reed. All in favor?
Yes. All in favor with the condition. All right. Thank you. The next item is item 19, A, B, and C is 18 Gabriel Avenue. This is to obtain consent to survey the property into 2 residential lots and to maintain an existing easement right-of-way. And the purpose is to construct a new 3-story detached dwelling with front and rear basement walkout, front and rear ground floor porches with stairs, and front and rear third floor planter boxes, and also front and rear first-story balconies. And there will be a total of 5 residential dwelling units on this lot. We received the minute from the last public hearing, January 21st, 2026, and copy of draft survey and a copy of surveys, revised site plan, floor plan elevations, cover letter, and lot grading plan from the agent. And we have staff report from urban forestry, and also we receive quite a number of oppositions. This very long list, 2, 4, 6, 12, 14, 15 letter of oppositions, mainly from Gabriel Avenue and Westview Boulevard. And we also receive a 95 signature petition in opposition, and with occupants made on Amsterdam Avenue, Gabriel Avenue, and also Westview Boulevard, Victoria Park, and Garden Crescent, and many other roads. That's all we have received, yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair, we have the agent online, and we do have a list of opposition speakers in person and online as well.
Okay, thank you. So one by one, we will. So
Amir Rafiq, you have been unmuted.
yeah.
Yeah, hi, this is Amir Rafiq. I'm the agent speaking on this property today. I'd like to address...
Can you give us your address too, for the record, please? Yeah.
Yes, 443 Highside Drive in Milton.
Okay. You do have a lot of opposition. We need a presentation from you, but you have a presentation you want to bring up to the screen first?
No, we can just start off. With the, I guess, architectural drawings, and then we can navigate through it from there.
Okay. So we're ready. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'd like to start off with to bring up as a reminder that this hearing was originally held about a couple months ago, and it was actually held essentially in full, in which we discussed the concerns from planners, from committee members, and from neighbors. And it seemed like the outcome was positive until in the last minute, a zoning staff member pointed out correctly a technical issue. So it was a technicality in the application in which we missed to include the variances of lot coverage, the variances of lot area and lot frontage in the consent to sever application. That's been now corrected. It was originally missing from the zoning notice that we received. It's included in there now. The application is corrected. And also, while we had some time, we took to heart the recommendations that were made at the time during the hearing to further improve this application. So I want to bring up that the precedence for a building and structure like this is already set on the street. There are many examples of this. There are structures of the same lot size, lot frontage as well. And the changes that we made further were the privacy screens that we added. Obviously, there was soft landscaping that was brought up as a concern. We improved that. We substantially increased the soft landscaping at the front. We also reduce the area of concrete in the rear to increase the landscaping percentage there. And and also we have had a discussion about trees, and we read the commentary, and we're accepting of any conditions that may be necessary in order to get this approved. Those are the items that I wanted to bring up. The only change really that matters for the application and for the variance is that we added a porch cover in the rear on the main floor above the porch, which triggered another variance, which is also related to the side yard setback. But the cover does not extend past the porch, and it's in line with the building as well. So if there's any further questions, I'm happy to address them. And I know that there's some further concerns. They may be similar from previous one that were already addressed, or maybe new ones. I'm happy to address any comments here, and hope for a positive outcome in this hearing. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we probably do you want to hold our questions and then we go back to him because there are a number of. Oh, okay. Go ahead, please. Yeah, maybe clear that.
Your indulgence.
Yeah, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, through you. So I'd like to question two of the comments you just made. And this is to the applicant. First, you mentioned the previous Committee of Adjustment hearing where this application was heard. I was a member on that committee panel, and you suggested that it was going well until someone from the zoning made a comment about missing variances. I'll question that. I'll disagree with you. I don't think there was a direction one way or the other as to how this application was going at the time. So I think it was rather abbreviated because I raised the issue of variances related to the lot frontage and lot area. So I disagree that it was going well. Second question, you just made a statement saying that there are examples of the lot frontage and lot area that you're proposing throughout this neighborhood. Can you direct me to that information that you've provided and filed with this committee?
Yeah, so regarding the first one, regarding your first item here, it may be a personal assessment here. I give you that, but we had comments that were favorable, and then there was no obvious one way or the other tilting. So regarding your second question, there's units on Galbraith.
I'm sorry to interject. Have you filed information related to doing a neighborhood study area, which is required through direction of the OP when you're requesting a consent to sever, showing examples of similar types of approvals and or existing sites, lots that are the same frontage and lot area that you're proposing?
We haven't made and submitted, or we haven't prepared a document that we then share. No.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Good question. So we have a number of speakers, right? So we're ready for the next speaker. In person? Okay.
So for the speaker at 20 GALBRAITH Avenue, you can come up to the podium. In the middle.
Please turn on the microphone. You'll see a green light.
And also through you, Madam Chair, to the speaker, there is another individual also registered. So I was wondering, by the name of Rose?
That's my wife.
Right. So I just want to get a better understanding if you're going to be utilizing your full 5 minutes, or
I'll be doing the full 5 minutes.
Thank you for the confirmation.
And I do have a letter of opposition. I'll have some photos that I'll refer to.
Okay. Let's bring that up first. Yeah. Let's bring that up first. Yeah. Okay.
And then just let me know when I should start, please.
Yeah. So yeah, when we
Through you, Madam Chair, let me just try to locate that file.
Yes, let's give him a couple minutes.
Through the chair, the speaker can proceed.
Yes.
Okay,
All right.
great. Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Ethan Tran, and I live at 20 GALBRAITH Avenue, immediately adjacent to the proposed development. I'm here to demonstrate that the requested variance for 18 GALBRAITH fails the Ford test of the Planning Act. This proposal is an overdevelopment that creates significant technical risks for both my property and the neighboring community church. My primary concern is stormwater management. The applicant is seeking a reduction of soft landscaping. As the committee can see on the photos provided, the neighborhood church has a main floor situated well below grade. This creates reverse slope vulnerability. By replacing permittable soil with a massive 5-unit footprint and hardscaping, the developer is removing the natural sponge that protects the church and my foundation. The variance is not minor. It creates a direct risk of basement flooding and hydrostatic pressure issues for existing structures. I request that a professional grading and drainage plan be made mandatory as a condition of approval, ensuring no water is displaced on our community institution, which is the church, and 20 GALBRAITH. Secondly, this proposal fails to maintain the intent of the official plan regarding the urban forest. This was reinforced by Urban Forestry's memorandum that was submitted on March 23rd, recommending against the approval. Additionally, City Policy PH 27.1 requires a minimum soil volume of 30 meters square per tree for healthy growth. The requested side yard setback variance and the depth of the foundation encroaches directly into the tree protection zone of mature trees on the property line and will impact critical root zones of mature trees on and adjacent to the property. This canopy also serves as a wildlife habitat corridor with protected species calling it home. Without an adjacent uncompacted soil, these trees will not survive this construction. This is an iceberg development that maximizes underground square footage at the expense of the neighborhood's environmental stability. Finally, the floor space index. The application is requesting to exceed the permitted FSI to accommodate 5 units. While we support, and I support, density, the massing must be desirable for the land. To accommodate the reduction of the setback and increased height creates a canyon effect between my property and 18 GALBRAITH, stripping us of all the natural light that we would have and privacy. It does not maintain the physical characteristics of GALBRAITH Avenue. It is also an attempt to squeeze a mid-sized volume into a residential lot, which is not the intent of the zoning bylaw. In summary, because the proposal fails to protect the existing tree canopy and creates a demonstrable flood risk for the below-grade church and my property, it fails the test of the Planning Act. I respectfully ask the committee to refuse this application. At the very least, I request a deferral until a full hydrological review, tree preservation plan, a full environmental impact study, and a species at-risk screening are submitted. Thank you. I would lastly like to add that at the last hearing, guidance from the committee was for the agent to talk to the community about some of the concerns we had. I have not heard from the agent, neither have other neighbors, and we were open to hearing from them. So I would like to call that out as well in terms of the character of the agent and the developer as they had committed to talking and discussing with the community at the last event, or at the last hearing.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Any question to this speaker? I have a couple.
Yeah, please.
The first one is that are you aware that they have eliminated or they improved certain things, that they eliminate the soft landscaping variance?
I still feel, after looking at that it doesn't address and the image is right behind you, Madam Chair.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see in front of me. Yeah, that's
around the
I don't need to-
sloping.
I
So
don't have to turn. Yeah,
the sloping is about 6 feet. If you take a look at the eye line of the window.
That's not my question. I'm not. But actually, the drainage problem is not part of this application only because that when they go through, if they have approval, when they go through the next phase, all the drainage and all the requirement, the city is actually quite strict on the stormwater management requirement they will have to meet.
Okay.
So that's outside our community. But I just try to mention to you that they do not have soft landscaping variance here.
Okay.
So that's what. The other comment, actually, a question is that I follow your comment about you think this is an iceberg development. What do you mean by that?
Because it's digging down and it's digging back. So it's basically currently the foundation of the house right now.
Oh, I see.
At the current property is small. And obviously now they're digging down and digging back even further, reducing the ability for the water to drain through the property.
Oh, you're still concerned about drainage and okay, I understand. Okay, that's what I want to clarify. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, thank you so much. I finished my question. So, anyone has got a question for this? Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you.
Then, the next speaker,
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair, the next speaker at 166 Parkview Hillcrest.
Okay.
I obtained the confirmation that this individual will not be speaking at this time due to an emergency. So now we're just going to be moving on to the online speakers.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, just to confirm, there's no one else here in person that wishes to speak to this item? See none?
Okay.
the next speaker at 25 Galbraith Avenue, you have been unmuted.
Hello, everybody. You can hear me?
Yes, very well.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, committee members. My name is Daryl Wad. I live immediately across the street from the subject property at 25 Galbraith.
25, okay.
So I request that the committee has the following supporting documentation open for reference.
Okay.
The collective letter of objection received by the committee on March 25th.
Okay.
The letter of objection regarding the signed declaration also received on the 25th, and the letter of objection from the preschool, Precious Ones preschool as well.
Mm-hmm. So you want to bring some these documents up first, is that right? Okay.
Just to have for reference before I begin my 5 minutes.
Okay, good. So when you're ready, we can start, right? Okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So the Topham Park community has prepared an amended and restated letter of objection relating to the subject property. Very similar letter was submitted for the previous hearing on January 21st, 2026.
Mm-hmm.
And this letter explains that this proposed development does not align with the existing character or neighborhood, mm-hmm. And with the established policy direction of the community. It outlines how the cumulative impact of this scale of development would set a negative precedent and does not represent a desirable or appropriate form of development in this area. So at the previous hearing on January 21st, 2026, the committee advised that this petition include the municipal addresses of the signatories, and as demonstrated on the signature pages of this amended letter, the vast majority of the 96 signatories have in fact provided their addresses, clearly demonstrating a strong and localized opposition of this proposal. Whereas in contrast, and Mr. Lombardi brought this up, the committee directed the applicant at that hearing to consult with the neighboring property owners and other community stakeholders. However, no such consultation had occurred. This reflects a disregard for the community's direction and a broader lack of engagement with the affected community. I don't think that the merits of the application was actually heard at that meeting, and rather the lack of adequate frontage variances that were applied for was what was addressed. So The applicant also asserted, and this was also brought up earlier, that severing the lot into two 25-foot parcels would be consistent with the existing character of Galbraith Avenue. However, as outlined in our letter, fewer than 10% of the lots on Galbraith have a frontage of 25 feet, and all of these lots contain single-family dwellings, not multiplex buildings. As such, this development cannot be reasonably considered to be consistent with the existing configuration or character of our neighborhood. Now, just changing gears to the letter of objection regarding the signed declaration. So pursuant to this signed declaration from the applicant dated March 3rd, 2026, the applicant confirmed that the public notice signage would remain in its original location for the entire period prior to this hearing, and they would, quote, repair or maintain the sign to ensure the sign remains visible. As shown in Appendix B of this letter, timestamps photographs illustrate that the signage was not visible to the public from the street nor the sidewalk during the 10-day minimum notice period. Accordingly, the required public notice requirements have not, in this case, been satisfied. So, notwithstanding the strong community opposition and the failure to satisfy public notice requirements, when the application is considered in its broader context, we submit that it fails to meet this four-part test. The proposal does not enhance the property's relationship to the neighboring uses, nor does it maintain the general intent and purpose of the applicable zoning bylaws. As detailed in the numerous letters of objections, the variants sought are not minor in nature and extend well beyond the minimum standards contemplated by the bylaws. In particular, the proposed setbacks between the two structures and the proposed lot frontage for each severed lot are significantly below what is permitted. The adverse impact on the neighboring daycare, at which they have submitted their own separate submission, impacts the community at large, as many of the signatories expressly support the daycare's opposition, as their children would be directly affected
Thank
by
you.
this.
Your 5 minutes is up. So, yeah, thank you. Yeah, just let's see whether we have some questions for you. No, thank you. Yeah, all right. So we're ready for the next speaker. Yeah.
The speaker at 235 Westview Boulevard. You have been unmuted.
Hi, everyone. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well. Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Committee members, thank you for allowing us to speak and voice our concerns. My name is Dylan Mateen, and I live, I'm the property owner and resident of 235 Westview Boulevard. My property is located right behind 18 Galbraith Avenue. I've submitted a letter of objection. I'm just here to just reiterate my my points that I brought up in the letter. I'm not against the development, but I do object to the proposal as it is. My main concern is that the project is too big for the lot and depends on major changes to the zoning rules. The lot's being reduced by about 37% in width and area. I don't think that's a small change or a minor variance. It's significant. The reason for these changes is because the owner wants to split the lot and fit 2 buildings with 5 units each, so 10 units in total. So the problems are being created by the design of this project, or not by the land itself. Direct impacts that I will be experiencing as a result of this development, because my backyard is directly abutting the property. I'll be directly facing the 2 buildings that are going to go up. The 3rd floor balconies and windows and the 2nd floor windows they'll look straight into my backyard and even into my house. So there's a privacy and concern and a shadowing concern. And I won't have any street or buffer, obviously, because I'm directly behind them. When you add everything together, the smaller lot sizes, the less space between the 2 buildings, the extra height, the combined effect, it becomes too much for the site. I was also concerned with the drainage and grading plan. And because, as previously mentioned by one of the other neighbors, obviously the footprint of the building is going to be much, much, much bigger than what we currently have. And that's a very small bungalow. And there's not much information showing that this has been reviewed or addressed. Based on all of this, I respectfully ask the committee to refuse the application, or if it's approved, I would ask if the made some changes to reduce the overlook and address the drainage issue.
Okay,
That's
thank
all
you.
I have. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll bring back the applicant later to address this. Yeah, thank you. Next speaker, yes. Oh, we have questions to this speaker? Okay, sorry, I jumped ahead. Yeah.
The next speaker at 90 Westview Boulevard, you have been unmuted.
Hi, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, this is Heather Fleck, and I am the owner and resident of 90 Westview Boulevard. So I am in the neighborhood, not directly on the same block, but I'm just a block or so away.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to thank you for letting me address the committee. I understand that a lot of my concerns have already been presented to do with the severance of the lot and the height variance and the lot variances. There are a couple other items with the side variances, which are also major. One of them is a 69% reduction of a side easement on the east side of the property. There's also the dimensions between the two proposed buildings, which is 0.41 meters from the building to the property line. So it's also a narrow spot. And the west side of 18 Galbraith, which abuts 20, the only way they have rear access to their rear yard is by a current right-of-way. So by my calculations and how it looks on the lot, these properties won't have access to their backyard, especially 18A. So what do they do with their garbage? What do they do about maintenance? All those kind of items. If there's 10 units going on these two lots, the garbage bins won't even fit on their frontage on the curb because there'll be so many. Just want to reiterate that I think these variants are not minor. They are very major. And in addition, about the urban forestry report, there's not even enough space to put a tree back on. That would be sufficient for a tree to survive on either lot. I agree that the applicant has tried to mitigate some of the original concerns raised, but they are very minor, about adding privacy screens to the balconies or changing the soft landscaping, changing accessibility, but it hasn't addressed any of the major issues that the neighbors have, all that you've already heard. I've had personal experience living on a narrow lot, which didn't require variances, and all these variances are important to have access and be able to maintain your property and enjoy your property. So none of that is available on these two lots. I did look a little bit into Lucid Homes. They have not provided a 3D rendering or perspective on this property, which would give the neighbors a visual reference on how it would impact the neighborhood and how it would fit and how high it is and the grade. So, you know, that would give a visual to say how it really doesn't fit into the character of the area. I think what else to cover, what hasn't been covered. I don't think there's been a servicing capacity review for the sewer capacity. That's a big issue in this area about flooding. Obviously, they haven't given any indication that they're going to maintain or own this property afterwards. So obviously, it's going to be a development that's going to be resold. That will leave, you know, all these issues left to the new property owners and the neighborhood to deal with. I agree that the examples that he tried to provide that gave on Galbraith, that there has been lots that were severed. It's true. They have all been single-family homes, not buildings of this density. So just in summary, I just want to agree with all the previous discussions that have been raised and I would like to put forward that I object to this development and request that their application be denied. Thank you.
Thank you. Any question to this speaker? Okay. Thank you. So we can have the next.
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair. The last speaker is also in opposition at the address 23 Galbraith Avenue. However, after multiple attempts by phone call and emails, I was not able to connect with this individual.
Oh, okay. So maybe at that moment we can bring back, there's some issues already been raised. So we bring back the applicant or the agent to give us some response to the issues that raised by the previous speakers.
Yeah, I'm happy to address. It looks like I have 45 seconds. I'm not sure if that'll be enough, but I get started right away. So it looks like the major issues here are related to grading and also about the overall concept of the proposal, of number of units and the nature of the multiplexes. So while I totally understand that this is sensitive, I want to say with respect that the zoning, that this hearing is for the zoning items which are unrelated to the concept of this proposal. And the grading also will be addressed by professionals who are already retained and on board to ensure that there's no spillage, and whatever grading solutions are suggested or enforced, that they will happen within the property lines without any effect on the neighboring properties. So this is something that will be, there's multiple sets of eyes that will control this, and I can assure all neighbors that this is something that will not affect them. What's the next item? Forestry. Any tree, anything that the forestry department enforces, we will ensure that we respect it. Any trees that require protection, we will make sure that tree protection is previously approved by them and followed as approved on site. All rules and regulations are respected and will be followed as enforced by the municipality. So FSI, these are about the FSI. There was a couple items that were brought up with that. So we're inconsistent with the zoning requirement. It's something that's waived with the new regulations. We understand, like I said again earlier, it's sensitive. I understand, but the city has proposed and approved, say, drastic zoning amendments that allow for such a development. The signs being dropped, that's the next point. I've actually never experienced something like this. We have photos that in over 100 applications, we've received it. I've never experienced anything like this. And we have photos that at the time they were posted. The photos are in the supporting documents. So that's all the commentary I can say to that. Regarding the overlooking onto the backyards, again, as I mentioned, we have the privacy screens. That's the best we can do for that. We can, if there's any enhancement in the privacy screens, any further suggestions that the committee may suggest, we're very happy to include those in a condition and entertain at the time of construction. Setbacks, I want to highlight that the setback, that most of the variants are related to setback of different elements of the home. The setback variances are affecting the area between 18A and 18B. So the setback intrusion will not even affect the outside neighbors to the adjacent lots. Garbage will be managed by a management company that will be part of this development and will be arranged as such. Then the only last item is that on the last hearing, there were many concerns that were raised about the daycare, whereas the daycare itself never issued a complaint. Now, this time, the daycare actually did issue a complaint. And again, here we can say that currently the daycare has wire mesh. So any past buyers or any neighbors or even the current neighbor right now, they're not concerned about those. if the structure increases, how does it change the concern? How does it change the concern that from a wire mesh now we have to go with privacy, or more or enhanced privacy? Regardless, we're happy to cover a portion of the privacy screen, or maybe the privacy screen that is between our lots, or the lot line that separates us from the daycare, and we can and we can even accept a higher than standard privacy screen. So whatever it is that we can do to satisfy the neighborhood, we're very happy to do that if it matters, and if we can get a favorable response here. I hope that answers most of the questions from what I can remember from my notes here.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we have a question for you. No? Yes, please, go ahead, Ms. Crawford. Yeah.
Yes, hi. I just wanted to, wondered if you could elaborate a bit about the trees, because urban forestry is recommending refusal because of one tree. And you said that you're willing to do anything about the trees, which is great. But they said that retaining that tree that they're concerned about would require a significant plan change. Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, so we actually were back and forth with the representative of the forestry, and we came to the conclusion that we'll have this hearing, and we will ensure that the trees are protected with an arborist that is retained and on board with us to oversee the construction and ensure that the trees are not damaged.
Okay,
yes. The urban forestry do have, just in the case that it's been approved, they have to follow through working out with them. They do have their, it seems that the procedure on making this work. I think that's what the second report is about.
Remind me adding one more thing. There will be obviously further reviews. We're not at the building permit stage yet. This is addressing the neighbor. There will be significant in-depth reviews that will follow this as we go into further detail upon approval of this application, if it comes to that. And there will be a lot more. There will be a lot more eyes that are reviewing this to ensure that it's done correctly. So this is not the final. There will be a lot more reviews that and technical reviews that will follow this one to ensure that all the rules that the forestry department has are to be followed.
Yes, please. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. We heard a little bit from a number of the people in opposition about a lack of effort to connect with the neighbors directly to discuss and potentially resolve some of these concerns. I was also in attendance at the last hearing, and I do remember that that was specifically one of the recommendations we made with the deferral, was to encourage dialogue around what was being discussed. Can you explain outreach efforts that have been made, and if they have not been made, can you give a justification as to why?
Yeah, correct. So there were no efforts made. It was suggested through ownership, and then the decision was to resolve it by addressing the items that were discussed in the letters without ignoring them. Anything that was brought up in the submitted documents that we received from the neighborhood, we respected it, and on the drawing side, and made sure that we address everything as much as we can that matters for the variances that were included within the hearing.
Okay, Peter, please.
Thanks, Chair. Kind of a similar question. One of the speakers showed photos of the property without the sign being displayed in the time period that it was supposed to. Can you respond to that, please?
Yeah, the signs were posted at the time that it was requested and pictures were sent. So we have evidence that the signs were posted in accordance to the requirements, and we actually received confirmation of that as well. And in all my in my entire career, having done more than 100 of these, I've never actually experienced a case where a sign was either taken out with the standard that we have, that the sign was taken out by winds or by children or anybody without assuming any ill intent. So we kind of relied on the fact that we did our part in posting it correctly, ensured that it's fastened, and then we kind of had faith that that would be sufficient, as history proved 100 times before. So if the signs were, I mean, for me, it's still questionable how these signs were taken out. But if that's the case, maybe we should have driven by there every day and checked and made sure that it's there and still posted if that's confirmation that the signs were posted in accordance to the requirements at the time.
Through you, Madam Chair, this is a consent application, so signs must be posted 14 days prior to the hearing, and they must stay on the property for 14 days prior to the hearing. And that is up to the landowner and the agent to ensure that those signs are posted accordingly. That is under the Planning Act. So if the signs were not there for 14 days, then this is lack of notification and it's an automatic deferral.
So could we in a case like that say the signs were not taken out, or there was no intention to take the signs out and hide them?
Through you, Madam Chair, it's not about that. We are asking you, were the signs posted 14 days prior to the hearing? Yes or no?
Yes.
Were the signs on the property for 14 days prior to today? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I heard actually is a conflicting like evidence in case, but I'm not really, they seem, I mean, that's what the evidence given by the applicant, that they did post their sign.
It's about posting, but ensuring that the signs are on the property for 14 days prior to the hearing. And if those signs are removed for whatever reason, it is the obligation of the landowner and the agent to ensure that new signs are posted.
So with the strict wording like that, I can still see on the pictures that the signs are on the property.
Yes, but
they're present but not posted visibly as per the evidence, right?
Yeah, but I can see the practical experience is that maybe it got blown down by some wind. It's very difficult to say that the 24/7 to make sure that it's up. But I'm not trying to.
Through you, Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair.
Yeah. Yeah.
According to the Planning Act, the sign needs to be maintained on the site for 14 days prior to the hearing for consent applications.
Okay. No, I totally agree, but I just thought that what he's trying to explain is that something happened to it and then he could not maintain.
Through you, Madam Chair, if something happens to the sign, it is the obligation of the landowner and the agent to ensure that that sign is visible for 14 days prior to the hearing. And if that hasn't happened, then it's lack of notification, it's an automatic deferral.
Okay, I got you, yeah. So I mean, he responded, so he's not sure that it's been maintained, that's for sure, yeah. Okay, thank you. So in this case, maybe we should get into the committee of the panel to discuss whether this is we have to defer this case or not. Yeah. Okay, please, Dino.
I didn't want to deal with that. I wanted to deal with the application itself. So let's deal with that first. I'll leave that to you, Madam Chair, in terms of whether this is deferral or not.
But given the advice from our, the Secretary Treasurer, she's quite sure that it does not meet the statutory requirement of posting sign, right? If it's not maintained.
The evidence that has been, through you, Madam Chair, the evidence that's been provided today, it appears that the signs were not properly maintained, visible for 14 days prior to today's hearing.
Yes. It seems that I think there very little choice that we can move ahead with the hearing then, because we do not want to violate the statutory requirement, right? Okay, so do we have a motion to defer this case again?
I will make that motion.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
To defer, given that the statutory requirements for notice were not, not upheld.
Yeah, and also really, we try to really emphasize that it is the owner or the applicant's responsibility to maintain that is up 14 days before the hearing. The next time we would like to see that happen, and we not have to defer it.
Through you, Madam Chair, if it's helpful, we can reschedule this application for the May 6th hearing. However, I know the deferral is based on improper notification, but is there anything else that the members want the applicant to consider before coming back to committee?
Oh, one thing I remember that I agree with Dino, that last time we did ask for a lot size study, and it will be very helpful if they can produce that, even a diagram or just some statistics or just a lot study diagram. Maybe that will help your application. Yeah.
So through you, Madam Chair, a lot frontage analysis?
Lot size and frontage.
And lot area analysis?
Yes.
So both?
Yeah.
I would also be very interested in seeing some evidence of outreach or an attempt at engagement with neighbors.
Okay, I think with those requests, actually, yeah, you have more requests.
No, I don't. I was going to second that, but
okay.
reluctantly, I feel sorry for all of the people who spent a lot of time and effort to come to this and to be present and give thoughtful input onto this. And that's twice now that it's been a very late in the process deferral where we've basically heard the entire thing. So I think to the applicant, it's very important that you do take into account what you've heard today, and particularly around the consent. I think showing that pattern and doing some research on that to justify the consent, and also to include the neighbors. I know you said you did incorporate their comments into your plans, but I think actually meeting with them would go a long way. So I'll second the deferral request.
Yes. Okay, we have a second. All in favor for deferral for the posting sign? Thank you. All in favor to defer unanimously. Defer. Sorry, guys. Thank you for coming. All right, so the next item is number 20, is 25 Grant Street. This is to construct a new two-story detached rear auxiliary building, which is a lane-based street with a partially cantilever second story. And also is to construct one parking space at the rear, and there will be a total of 2 residential dwelling units on this lot. One in the main house, and the other one is in the auxiliary building. We received a copy of the minutes of the last meeting, which was deferred from February 19th, 2025, and a copy of the survey, revised site plan, floor plan elevations, and revised site plan. and wetline public notice and a cover letter from the agent. We receive urban forestry report and also metro links and also a community planning. We have received opposition from 27 Grand Street. And we're ready for the agent.
Sorry, through you, Madam Chair. Urban Forestry submitted a letter requesting refusal of variances 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yes.
We did receive an email this afternoon from Urban Forestry that they want to withdraw that memo and impose condition number 2 if committee finds merit to approve the application.
Oh, okay, good. It's a good idea, yeah. All right. So
Thank you.
let's have the agent, and they have some revision too, right? So we have to go through that revision.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent in person as well as opposition speakers in person as well.
Okay, yes. I have, give us your name and address first, and then I have questions about the revisions,
Thank you. Good afternoon, Madam Chair and Committee. My name is Jason Halter. I'm at 37 Margaretta Street, Toronto. My brief history of the previous submission is that to remind that this is a unique site, a T-shaped site, which has facing building on Grant Street. It also, according to the previous submission, where we had positioned our building back from Grant Street, we have followed the recommendations of the deferral from last year and all the points regarding urban forestry requesting us to not injure or damage any of the trees that they had outlined, which we agreed to by moving our building forward almost 3 meters. And further to that, we also made our foundation for that corner in the southwest corner of the site further removed so that we wouldn't injure or damage the tree roots, which was the big consideration in the last hearing. Further to that, by moving our building forward north on the site, it actually allowed the building to be centered more or less within a half a meter, but centered on the property at 25 Grant Street, which meant that the variance that we applied for last year was taken care of in that regard.
Thank you.
May I just, one final? About a week before the hearing, we heard from a city examiner who had requested further that we make further moves to regard setbacks, which we did. So we changed our design, having a greater setback from fences and to comply to all of their recommendations, including to rebuild fence at 27, which, by the way, is encroaching on our property by a little bit. However, we would also oblige to plant trees and on the 27 Grant Street property. And in addition to that, we would be willing to undertake a kind of a green wall, a vine wall on our building side. And we've supplied a perspective or a rendering to demonstrate that condition for the owner at 27 Grant Street. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Actually, my question is very simple.
Yes.
It's only that we have received a red line notice. The problem I have is that you were describing the revision, but I need to, when the staff bring that up, I need you to actually tell us exactly what number you're changing instead of the description. For example, the first one, whether there's any revision in terms of number, the figures, the 7 in percent.
Yes, on the red line, I indicated that the setback is to be 0.46
the first one is the soft landscaping, right?
Well, at the last hearing, we had soft landscaped.
So 75% you changed to 35. I just want to have the figurative so we can cross it out.
75% is allowable. We had soft landscaping on the lane side. At the last hearing, we were told to remove the soft landscaping on the lane side, as we have been obliged to set back our building 1.5 meters according to Transportation Services. So that was a directive or a request by the committee, which we did. As an alternative, the city asked us to, and by the way, we suggest putting impervious pavers at that location, which is both a hardscape and a solution for rainwater or stormwater management. And we've also indicated that we would add a green roof to the roof as a recommendation by the city, to which we agree. Yeah?
Okay, I just want to, you follow me.
Yep.
Last time was 0% that you're proposing, but this time you changed to 35%, which is 41.9 square meter. You agree, right? Okay, then let's go to variance number 3. You increasing the setback,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
There are two figures, like from 0
Yep,
to 0.46 meter.
that's correct.
Okay, and
That's on the overhang portion, a second floor
fine.
portion
I
on the
just want
southwest,
to-
but we made sure, in order to simplify.
I want to have the staff actually record it so that when we print our
Yes.
yeah, so we get the right number.
Correct.
That's all. And also the variance number 4, you are changing both for the setback from 0.26 to 0.46.
Correct.
And from 1.8 to 0.46 meter.
Correct.
That's correct. Oh, that's all I want to know.
Correct.
You don't
Thank
have
you.
to explain why, but this is
Okay.
the revisions. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Now, you want to ask the questions now? Okay. All right. We have oppositions. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do have some oppositions. You might if we hear them first,
course,
and then
of
you come
course.
back.
Thank you.
We
Yes.
will bring you back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Through you, Madam Chair, the speaker at 27 Grant Street, you can head up to the podium.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello, I'm David Muha, M-U-H-A, neighbor of the applicant at 27 Grant Street. So our homes are joined, semi-detached.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and honorable committee members. Our position is that the committee should deny this application on the basis that the variances at issue are not minor. And I trust the committee has reviewed the 2 written submissions that we made. They were dated March 25 and March 30.
Yeah, we can bring that up on the screen if you want. Yeah.
I will summarize the primary content of the submissions. Starting with the setbacks, the sheer magnitude of the requested reductions indicates that they are not minor. We have a reduction of over 2/3 for the rear setback and over 1/2 for the side setback. It's the rear setback that is the most problematic. The proposed building would run within the setback, just 18 inches from our property line, for around 2/3 of the length of our property line. It's on the east side, and that east side of our property is where our main indoor and outdoor living areas are situated. So the impact on our sunlight and privacy and views should be obvious from the building plans themselves, and we also included in our submission some photos to put an illustration on it. Instead of the sky and sun and trees you see in the photo up on the screen, we'd be staring at a 2-story brick wall. And because the proposed building is so close within that setback, the construction is certain to kill the beautiful mature cedars that have graced the east side of our property for decades. If you scroll back to the previous, there's a photo of them there. We've included several photos. We had an arborist report to support that the proposed construction is likely to kill those trees. And I would remind the committee that the proposal is to squeeze not only the rear setback, so to bring it from 5 feet, it was originally 11 inches, now increased negligibly to 18 inches, but also to reduce the side lot setback from 1 meter to less than half a meter. So the building is coming at us from the rear and the side. And then you combine that fact with the fact that the requested variance is to have the building 2 meters wider than the bylaw allows. So take all of that together. This is not just a small impingement on the corner rear. Because of the additional requested variance, this impingement on our property line is traveling for roughly 11 of 17 feet of that rear lot line that you see there. So in the applicant's materials, there was some suggestions that the site of the building within our setback and stretching the extra 2 meters is necessary to accommodate some things that appeared or that came up at the last meeting, some comments of forestry and perhaps some comments to the committee. And to that I say 2 things. First of all, that does not change in any way the fact that the requested variances are not minor, individually or in the aggregate. And if the variances are not minor, the committee has to deny the application. That's the law. And I think what the main problem here is that Sid's lot, it's a regular, granted, but it's just not suitable for the particular building. Sorry, Sid is my neighbor, the applicant, for the particular building that he's proposing to build. And maybe he should have proposed something that observes the maximum 8-meter width. You know, that would certainly reduce the impact of that rear setback issue. And maybe he could build that building within the applicable zoning bylaw without killing all of the trees. Or maybe he could have made the footprint of the building fall more on his property like a classic laneway suite, rather than having it stretch right across my property line. I could see why he might not want to, because that would reduce his property value to the maximum rather than mine. Or he could build it 1 story. And I actually asked my neighbor, why not 1 story? And he hemmed and hawed a bit and said, you know, if I could go back in time, maybe I'd do that, but we're too far down the road now. So he's shooting for the moon with a large 2-story build and the plethora of required setbacks. Just finally, there were revised plans uploaded just a few days ago, after the deadline for me to provide written comments. We addressed those in our March 30 letter, and we suggest they do nothing to reduce the unacceptable adverse impact of the impingement on our property.
Your 5 minutes is up, but wait, said, can I ask whether we have a question for you? No. Yeah. So you are actually it's the property on the north, right, on the north side, and then
That's right. So the building would run along our property line.
My question to you is that it seems that it is sort of spreading across right on the east side. I mean the proposed building. So
Yes.
have you talked to the property on 20? Is it 23?
I have spoken with the owners at 23 Grant, who at the last meeting voiced their opposition.
Do they have the same kind of feeling as you, that they were affecting them too, in terms of the setbacks, you know?
I can't speak to that offhand. I would be very surprised if they weren't taking issue with the fact that the building is being built so close to the property line. I do know that they had various concerns about the impact on the tree canopy, both as a result of the trees that were the subject of the comment by urban forestry, and also as a result of the material canopy provided by our mature cedars taken. There's also 1 cedar on the applicant's property in that corner. So we submit the request that the committee deny the application, and regarding all the variances. Final comment, there's a balcony proposed that would be perched right on our property line. You know, that should certainly be nixed, no matter what the decision of the application. But
thank you.
In our view, it would be reasonable and proper to deny the requested variances because they're simply not minor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, honorable committee
Have
members.
any questions? Okay, let's bring any other speakers.
Yes, can the speaker at 23 Grant Street? Anyone in the crowd that may also be speaking to this item? Seeing none,
Oh, he's registered. But he's not here, but he's registered, right? He's registered, but okay, he's not here. All right.
it's an interested, like the
But then
opinion
they
is
don't have
it's an
a
interest.
letter. They don't have a written submission. Okay, so now we're back to the applicant. That's the way it said.
There's no opposition at 23, by the way,
Oh, I see.
just so you know. It was in support, but it doesn't matter.
Good, okay, yeah. All right, thank you. You have heard the concerns, and
Yes.
you have 5 minutes to respond to that.
Sure, if I may. The laneway suite that we're applying for is not a large building. It's barely 1,000 square feet or 100 square meters. It's actually very small compared to some of the laneway buildings that we've done. The cedars on the property at 27, according to the survey and also our arborist report, are less than 20 centimeters in diameter, just as a, comment to them being very large and mature. I don't take away from the fact that they're there. I do add that the neighbors at 27 fence is encroaching on our property along the entire length of our property in question here. This building is a unique site because it has a T-shaped site. So when they say that we're extending length to be 10 meters, we have simply moved the previous application forward. And in fact, from an urban design standpoint, if you look at the street, Clark Street, this is both a laneway and a front street. So this actually addresses the building fronts on Clark Street and maintains a kind of a frontage, which I suppose may have actually held a building at one point when it was a different role, because I believe this is an amalgamation of two sites. The building, if it were to be a proposed laneway suite along the length of the 25 address, would penetrate further deeper into the lot, allowable as of right, and would take away a much greater amount of the light that would affect 27. 27 also being a corner lot that gets a significant amount of light on its north face, northeasterly, in morning and complete afternoon light as it currently is. So I would suggest that we did everything according to the recommendations of the committee and urban forestry. In our last hearing, we went back to the drawing board. We designed a slightly different envelope in order to accommodate the design. It's neither offensive nor large. And in our case, the building allows a greater amount of setback than we had previously designed. We're working within a tight envelope within the 1.5 meter requirement of transportation services. We're trying to balance, to the best of our ability, a building that fits that site and that north-south orientation, which is the nature of one of the variances, which is that it appears to the committee that this is a 10-meter long wide building, but it's actually a 10-meter long building facing the north-south axis. And this site must be considered as an anomaly and a T-shaped lot, which is trying to do its best to accommodate both orientations. Thank you.
Yes, so we have questions, yeah?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair, through you. Yeah, I think it's an understatement to say this is a unique lot. I'm trying to understand the lot itself because when I was out there on the weekend, so it appears to me that, first of all, it doesn't appear, there was a fence along the rear property line of all three properties at 27, 25, and 23. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And right now, that the top portion of the T, let's put it that way, the rear section That is completely vacant, and there was a car parked on there. Is that correct? It's being used for parking?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Our client has afforded parking to both the residents at 23 and 27 for some years, so perhaps that's why.
Okay. So this is a T-shaped complete property, one property.
Correct.
Okay. Even though there's a fence there.
Yeah, I believe this was an amalgamation of two lots because there is actually a roll number from previous to our current owners.
It's interesting why the other, the abutting lots also didn't get a portion of it. In other words, it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I suppose that it was a simple acquisition at the time.
Yeah.
And you know, just to clarify, when the renovation at 23 took place, they did oblige and rebuild the fence along the fence line, so that 27 is still encroaching on our property.
And there's no fence along the border of the laneway.
No, not at the moment, no.
Okay. Quick question. So first of all, elevation drawing A201, it shows the front of the proposed suite, laneway suite, but it doesn't show the second story screen or railing, because you have that on the illustration.
Right.
Is there a reason for that?
No. In fact, it was intended as a step out or a walkout.
Right. Okay. Second question: what's the height of the proposed laneway suite, the two-story?
The height is 1910, which is within the allowable height requirement.
So that's 19 feet 10 inches.
19 feet 10 inches.
Okay.
Or yes. I mean, that allows us two floors of 8-foot floor to underside of ceiling. We do typically a lot of timber construction so that we can grow a little bit more height visually, but it's nonetheless, it's not this isn't a tall building, and it sits barely 6 inches above grade, so that we, for obvious reasons, we don't want a building that's at grade with the increasing stormwater challenges that we have. So we're 6 inches above that.
Yeah, you described the area well. So when I walked the laneway south past the T component or portion of that lot, there are two significantly long, I wouldn't say tall, structures, which are garages. How would you sort of contextually compare what you're proposing to those garages?
The garages, it's not a matter of opinion, but they're neither new nor in grand repair. The garages themselves are extending forward, and I suppose if they did a renovation, they'd be required by transportation services to also give back what is required to make these lanes a little bit more accessible for a variety of city services. But we are sitting back from them, so we're actually would be sitting back. Where I think it's quite important is in the nature of the elevation of the front, where we are on a front street. We're both on a laneway condition and we're on a front street at Clark, and we're trying to oblige the urban design in order to have a small building, a micro house, if you will, which does conform to the face front of the buildings on the south side of Clark Street, just as an urban design gesture as best we can.
And how would you respond to the owner of the abutting property at 27 in concern about privacy, overlook, shadow, sunlight?
Yeah, we do understand that, and I guess the first consideration was that there is a fence. I mean, apart from the encroaching fence, there's an existing shed. We had made an offer in our last correspondence with the city to move the shed, to rebuild a fence, and to allow and/or to plant new trees that would help to defer, let's say, the visible appearance of a building. Whether or not a laneway house was built there with a meter setback, which would be our obligation, or half of that, which is what we're applying for as a variance, there's still going to be a two-story building. It's unlikely to build a 400 square foot laneway house. It doesn't. That's barely enough for a garage. I suppose we could build a garage, and in that case, one could go lot line to lot line, and that would be even more offensive, but we don't want to do that. We're not trying to be offensive. We're trying to allow for a small building to be built that fits within the laneway bylaw and in the context of the urban design consideration of the street itself. So it's trying to be sensitive in that regard with our also offer to green the wall with let's say a vine wall or a kind of a greening wall. It's possible that according to the rendering that we afforded here for this presentation, that it might not be as obtrusive, irrespective of the fact that, yeah, the building is there and we're trying to get the building built according to the application, which we've attempted.
And my last question, Madam Chair, I apologize for monopolizing the question period. So I've got the hard copy of the amended application in the sense that you're proposing changes to 4 of the variances. How is that reflected in your site plan? Have you provided a revised site plan? How are you accommodating those?
In the revised site plan, the building is set back to the 1'6" or the 4.46 meters, so that it reflects the building's new orientation.
And is is that the March 24th, 2026?
That's correct.
Yeah.
The only other thing, as I would offer to the committee, is there is a significant percentage of, let's say, green space where we've proposed a single car parking. You know, if that were a condition to try and oblige with semi-pervious paving at that location, that's an alternative or something that could help to accommodate. But again, I would add, at 23, there's no objection. So in the previous contestation, it was suggested that they do object, and they don't. So.
And urban forestry has?
And urban forestry has, we've obliged them since the last deferral in order to make sure that we don't injure or damage trees or roots on the site.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have one question for you.
Yes.
Your proposal has the setback from the laneway 1.5 meter, right?
Correct.
Is that a requirement, or is that?
That is a requirement by transportation services that all new buildings have to set back, buildings or garages, 1.5 meters from the edge of the property or from a center line of the lane. But this is where we are allowed to build. If we could, we would gladly move our building over, and that would be perhaps another variance that I'm sure if we were to apply for something like this, we would still have 27 object because they don't want a building on that lot, but yet there's a T-shaped lot and we're trying to do our best.
I understand. I just want to know whether it is the transportation require you to do that.
Yes, because, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's not the setback from the center of the lane, right? This is the center from your property line is 1.5.
Yes, that has to do with the interpretation of a width and length of the building. I would argue that the length of the building is our north-south. Mm-hmm. They would argue that the width of the building is north-south when we have this T-shaped lot. So
the other question then, of course, the transportation's got its reasons why he asked for 1.5, okay?
Correct.
But I want to know whether the existing condition now throughout the laneway, I see number 21, is it?
Yes.
The garage is already sticking out beyond
this
that.
Is an existing non-conforming condition.
Yes, so the existing condition along the laneway, are those garages all just...
they exist as they are. Were they to undertake a renovation or a new build, they would also have to move back. Yes, that's
if they were going to move back, they have to move back to 1.5.
Under any construction scenario, yes.
Okay, I want to clarify that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay. All right. And we do not have... I do not know whether I should ask you these questions, but maybe I try. It seems that your western setback, which is facing the 27, right? They border by the setback. If you have to meet the setback, then means that your building will be narrower if you are trying to meet the setback for both sides, right?
We've already made our
So will that change too much of your plan or proposal?
Yes, we've already reduced the size of the building in the last week. And we're at a moment where our living room is almost 10 feet wide. And as a designer architect, I understand that the space doesn't work so well under 10 feet, and to have a living space less than 10 feet, you know, we're trying to, you know, essentially this is a $500,000 to $600,000 building. We're not trying to make something that's you know, won't accommodate the client's purposes. We're trying to do something which isn't large, but is sensitive to the site as best as possible, and afford, you know, a minimum of living space.
Yeah, I'm glad I actually asked the question, because it seems that you have made an effort. Is try to sort of make it
just so the committee understands, I've been working on this project for almost 10 years. We've designed several buildings prior to the laneway bylaw coming into effect, so we have done many different iterations of this, and we've also been, you know, as accommodating as possible. At any time we're asked to do something, we've obliged and done, in some cases, quite an extensive redesign at considerable cost to my client, by the way.
Yeah, I do agree. So, okay, thank you. You answered my question.
Thank you.
I'm glad that I
Thank you.
asked.
Yeah,
okay,
thanks.
Thank you. Any question to this, to the applicant? Okay, now we don't have any more questions. Now we are in discussion. We are in committee now. Okay, who wants to start? I can start very quickly, because my last question is actually where I can tilt the other. I was, in the beginning, I was not going to support this application, because I thought that only for 15 inches more, then they will meet the west side, at least the west side setback. I'm not talking about the north and south. I think that's a little bit too small to create a fact. But then, and then I noticed that he explained very well that the transportations require them to have to move the building back, and then he's trying to compromise halfway. And then I still, the other say is that whether the extra 15 inches will minimize or reduce the impact, or is it doesn't make any real physical impact. That's when I decided I'm sort of tilting back to supporting the application. That's my thinking process only. I just like to hear your comment, yeah.
I agree with you, actually. When I first saw the application, when I started reviewing, you know, our applications for this upcoming meeting, I was somewhat concerned about this application. I didn't understand the T, you know, lot configuration. I didn't have a sense of what the contextual aspect of it. When I visited the site and walked the laneway in the neighborhood, specifically Clark Street, this is actually a proposal, now that there's also been some revisions to, for example, variances 3 and 4, and actually 1 as well, that I think fits the initiative that the city was looking for in terms of OPA for 60 for laneway suites. It seems to be a fit for this location, and it addresses the policies in the city's OP about additional housing, affordable housing, housing for different tenures and types, et cetera. And when I look at variances 3 and 4, which are the setbacks, again, I remind those in opposition that Ontario Regulation 257/25 is in full force and effect, and that impacts what is required from a maximum setback perspective. So it reduces the minimum requirement, of a setback by 10%. So for example, in variance 3, instead of being 1 meter that's required, it's 0.9 meters. And what's being proposed is 0.46 meters, which is a difference of 0.44 meters, or about 1.4 feet. The same works for variance number 4. So I see those variances as somewhat minor, I'm prepared to support this application and the variances being requested. Variance number 1 was problematic in terms of 0% for soft landscaping, but 35% is now being proposed. And again, when you're out on the site and you look at the context, I think it's acceptable to me as a variance. And I would actually, I'm thankful for the applicant indicating that they would also be on board with additional conditions of approval that might relate to permeable pavers, landscaping, et cetera. So I'm prepared to support this application.
Okay, thank you. Peter, please, yeah?
Thanks, Chair. I find this one really difficult. Because for me, I get your point, what you're saying, that the extra 15 inches, right? There's no additional impact from that, really, by allowing that. But I'm trying to get back to the kind of purpose and intent of the Laneway Suites bylaw. And it's because of this lot, right? The T-shape makes it challenging because the Laneway Suite bylaw envisioned a unit immediately behind yours, right? And not spreading out. So I think that's the one issue for me. But on the other hand, you've got this small lot that's facing a street, right? That presumably that could be severed off and be a lot and then just have a street-facing house on it, right? That would be a very small house with probably very similar side yard setbacks and that sort of thing. And there are some other smallish parcels like that in this area. So to me, it's, looking at and then going back to the variances themselves, as you mentioned, I think that they are pretty small. The only one that I think could be meaningful is the width at 8 meters to 10, right? Because that has a material impact, particularly on the neighbor to the north, in terms of them feeling wrapped, right? Because this is that kind of corner does make an uncomfortable position. Anyway, I'm still considering where I'm going to end up, but this is a hard one.
Yeah, I can respond to about the two corner being wrapped up, but the property on the north do have advantage that they also have a laneway or street. Right? There are quite a bit of open space on the main part of the house. That's why I know you like to have more. I mean, people feel that they box in, and that's for sure. But on the other hand, it's 16 inches or 15 inches. I'm not too sure that whether it will decrease the impact.
Right. Yeah, and
it has to be like decrease, right? In this case.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But and that row of cedars is a very good screen as well. That's a meaningful thing to consider. But I do, to kind of both of your points, I do appreciate the efforts that the applicant has made to improve this, right? The green roof, obviously trying to respond to some of the neighbors' concerns in what seems to be very good faith.
Okay, so thank you. Those are very good comments. Any other comments? Yeah.
Just, I'm impressed with the work with planning and the fact that they were also concerned, but felt concerns were addressed. And they do want to tie it to the site plan from March 24th, 2026.
Yes. I missed the green roof part. Is it indicating on the roof plan of the, so should we
Or
include
green
that too?
wall?
Yes.
Is it? There's the green wall for sure.
Green wall, not green roof.
And the green roof, both, yeah.
There is a green roof.
So we should tie to the drawings then?
Yes.
Or the elevations, okay.
Through you, Madam Chair, we're in committee, so you'd have to come out to committee to ask the applicant questions.
Oh, okay, so.
Do you want to come out of committee
I'm not too
and confirm?
No, we don't have questions, actually.
Okay, so we're in.
Yeah, we're still in committee. All right, so do we have a motion? Let me see. Yeah, are you ready? Yeah.
I'll put a motion forward, and just again to add, as I walked the laneway, the street, Clark Street, it is a tight urban fabric, and I felt when I referenced the garages, they weren't small. You know, I would say they're maybe 9 feet tall, maybe again, but they're long, and they do impact sort of visually. So I don't think that this will stick out like a sore thumb. In fact, I think it will fit this context. Anyway, I'll move a motion supporting the application and granting the 4 variances as amended, subject to the conditions of approval. So we have community planning, urban forestry, Metrolinks as well. I can't remember if I didn't write down if that was a condition or if it was just comments.
Through you, Madam Chair, it's the warning condition.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And we're going to tie, community planning actually has it being tied to the site plan.
Site plan, yeah.
So yeah, I'm good with that. So that's the motion I'll put forward, and I'll listen to my colleagues.
Yes, we still need a second. We can still, yeah, please. And cover, you want to second that?
I'll second.
Okay, you said you want to second, all right. Let me, and any more comments, or we're ready to vote? Okay, all in favor of those condition amended application, all in favor, it's approved. Thank you, it's approved unanimously. Yeah. Okay, next item 21 is 906 Manning Avenue. This is to alter the existing rear one-story auxiliary building, which is a semi-detached garage, and by constructing a complete second floors addition, and we'll also have a basement addition. The auxiliary building will contain a 2-car garage on the ground level and a laneway street on second level. And there will be 2 residential dwelling on this lot. Then we have received the minute of the last public hearing, January 14, 2026, and copy of the service revised site plan, floor plans, and elevations, and also corresponding from the agent. We have also received comment from Urban Forestry. We received 2 oppositions from 910 and it's the same address. It's 910 Manning Avenue.
Through you, Madam Chair, we have the agent online, and we do have opposition speakers in person.
In person, okay.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, meeting members. My name is Bruno Lopes from MXL Engineering and Associates, located at 1649 St. Clair Avenue West, and we are representing the owner.
Yes. It seems that you have a position here in person, so would you mind giving us a 5-minute presentation for your application? Thanks.
Absolutely. So, Madam Chair, there was, for this property, there was actually an issue building permit, and at the time we were contacted by the property owner. Within that permit, there were certain challenges. So, talking about the variances, the very first variance, it's sort of an inherited variance. And when I say inherited, it's because there is this demising wall. Mm-hmm. And definitely we cannot touch the demising wall. So we wish we could lower that demising wall and our building would be lower. So right now, the first floor is actually at 3.58 meters, and what we are above is 0.5 meters. So if we would have the ability to actually lower that wall, we'll lower the main floor, and this condition will be gone. So we won't have this variance. So the second variance is about the length. So about the length, we have the second challenge, like we can bend and twist, but we always going to have another variance. So we have the stairs sort of on the outside part of the garage, which is the little extension that we have done. If we end up to put the stairs inside the garage, now we don't have the minimum length for parking, so we're going to have a parking variance. Talking with Toronto Transportation, they were actually very pleased for us to leave the garage where it is, because right now you can see, if you see the site plan, it's pretty much set back from the laneway. It's something that on previous applications today, it's something that transportation is looking at, is having the property setback, so we maintain that. And in terms of the building length, it's just a couple meters. We've done ourselves designs, and committee has approved bigger than this. We are more than 7.5 meters away from the main building. You can see the distance there, so we are almost 10 meters away. The third variance is that the laneway suite is slightly bigger in GFA other than the existing building. So if you look at the existing building, pretty much this is a house that is still intact from when it was built. It was very tiny, skinny. So it's just the nature of things that, if this house will have some extension done to it, for sure, the work done will eliminate this variance as well. And we won't be here today, but again, we are facing technicalities, and we are doing our best just to keep within range.
Okay. You finished that? Please, yeah.
Quick question to the applicant. So my understanding that your explanation, you're not amending this application.
No.
You're just explaining how you got to the variance.
Yes, the construction started under a different permit, but because we saw the problem, we said, you know what, we have to go for a new permit, something that addresses, because otherwise you're going to have issues with construction. It's not possible to be done.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's fine. Any more questions for now? We might as well ask them. Okay, now we're ready for the opposition. Yeah.
The speaker at 910 Manning Avenue. Yeah, please head up to the podium.
Hi.
Hello, Madam
Welcome.
Speaker.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Dean Hines. Hi, committee members. I feel...
Is the mic on?
It is.
Okay.
It is. I feel a little bit under-equipped listening to the other guys talk, but anyways, so my issue with the build...
Can you tell us, get us your address too?
Oh, I live at 910 Manning Avenue.
910, and
Yes.
yeah, okay.
So my garage is the one that's depicted there. And I heard the gentleman, the applicant, say that to be able to install the stairs and to be able to park the cars there, that they need this space. I'm in complete opposition of that. As you can see, the size of my garage, I have 2 cars parked in there. They, at the first application, they said that they were taking an 8-foot 10-inch measurement from my garage, and that would limit massing in the backyard. That was the first application. Now they're actually making the application from the end of where their garage, where 908 garage stops right now, which is almost 4 feet past my garage, and then adding another 8-foot 10 past that, which is basically 13 feet past my garage, and that's creating a tremendous amount of massing in our backyards. Plus, the height variance that they've applied for, and I do understand it, because I mean, the garage that is existing during the construction, they've damaged the wall, and that's damaged my wall now, and I don't want them to damage any more walls. So if they're going to go a little bit higher, I'm reluctantly, I can understand. However, because they're going higher, and because they now want to go deeper, that creates way more mass. It's like having a cruise ship in my backyard, and that's what I fear. And this is what I have a problem with. Further to that, there's a basement that was dug out from the end of where the garage, the existing garage is. It goes into the backyard eastward 14 feet. close to 14. I measured it this morning. I have pictures of the measurement, 14 feet measured by me. I think, and that's supposed to be a mechanical room. I don't understand why you need 14 feet for a mechanical room, but it's there. And the last time we were here, there was an order given to comply because that wasn't actually what they applied for. It was actually 8 feet. But they dug out 14 feet, and I had to have the inspector come and take a look and say, listen, this is 14 feet, not 8. And the inspector said that the owner wouldn't let them on, he was never there to let him on the property to measure, so I allowed the inspector to come onto my property to measure. Anyways, I'm not in opposition for a laneway house being built. There are other examples in our laneway, and I agree. However, this particular house would be much larger than any other house that's there. Further to that, it would come halfway into my backyard, and I think I've provided pictures demonstrating that it's actually going to be massive, and it's going to look kind of cartoonish in the backyard. So I'm in opposition for that reason.
Yeah. You're also on the north side, right? You're on
I'm on the north side. Yes, my garage is depicted in the picture.
Okay, got you. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I've drawn there was from the first application, right? So the 8'10" measurement you see in black writing. That's what they've asked for in order to encapsulate the basement stairs. I'm completely in agreement with that because, I mean, he's built this basement to support a mechanical room that's going to provide heat, sewage, and water for the build. I get it. However, to have it come 8'10" out from where his garage stops right now to go further, it makes no sense in that you have your access to get to your basement, and also on top of those stairs, you have access to go upstairs to your second floor. You don't need the 8'10", and I'm just trying to limit the massing. Like it's already going to be too tall. It's already wider than our garage, than my existing garage, just by way of the way the property is cut up. But now it's going to be excessively deeper for no good reason.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe we have questions. Yeah, please. Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks, Chair. One of the reasons we deferred this last time was because the drawings weren't clear, and there were concerns that the drawings weren't showing what was actually built. Do you feel satisfied that the drawings show what is built?
Honestly speaking, I had a hard time following these drawings, and it says it's... oh, that's the other thing I want to clarify. So it's being applied for that they want... where is it? 12.03 meters. And that's the length of the entire build, including the basement. Right now, so I want to make it very clear that, because how it's written here is that they want to build all the way out to the basement, because it says here, the ancillary building containing one laneway suite will have a length of 12.3. So that's the whole building.
Right.
That's madness. It goes right into halfway into the backyard. Yeah. So I want to make it clear that if it's going to be that length, it's just going to be underground. Right. And a gentleman spoke earlier about an iceberg home. This is a perfect example of that. But again, with all of these variances, it amounts to one very large one that's not supported by myself or my neighbor. Right. And further to that, again, with the extra height, you're going to be looking into, like, it's going to be the largest building there. You're going to be looking right into my backyard that I used to be able to sit down and enjoy myself and be in private with my wife and my child. And now that's going to be stripped away from us just by way of a laneway house. Now it's going to be a tall laneway house and a big laneway house. So that's what I have an issue with. All right. Yeah. The only thing I have an issue with, I mean, Rob and I, he's my neighbor. I get along with him. We shook hands yesterday. Sure. It's not that. It's just this.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. One small question. Sure. That you have mentioned that they have dug the hole already.
That's another thing. So the basement has been dug already.
Okay.
And in the time that it was dug, and I think I forwarded pictures in the time that it was dug, they left a massive hole for myself, my child, and my wife, and anybody visiting my house to fall into. I asked him over and over and over again to put up some fencing, and, you know, he was busy, and I get it, you're busy, you're stressed, but I don't want to die.
Okay.
So
But then they haven't got, obviously, of course, they don't have the permit for building that part yet, anyway.
Yeah, the basement is dug, it's a basement now, that's
Understand.
covered.
Yeah, all right, got you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other question to this gentleman? Okay, thank you. We'll have the applicant to respond to those issues, yeah.
Should I turn this off?
Any other speaker? Yeah, we still have more speaker. Okay, let's listen to this.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The speaker at 906 Manning Avenue.
Is it online or we have it here?
It's in person.
Oh, in person, okay. Hi, welcome. A little bit too soft. Speak louder, yes.
Oh, well, that helps. Can you hear me better?
Good, yeah. And give us your name and address, that's for our records first.
It's Roberta Scott, and I live at 906 Manning Avenue.
Okay, thank you.
Let me know when to start.
No, do you have something you want to bring up on the screen first, or you can start?
With the first application that came here, I sent a lot of stuff, pictures, wrote about everything that was going on. So you guys have that. I didn't send anything more. I just wanted to speak to it because you guys have all the history of what's been going on there and the issues.
Okay, we can start then anytime you want. Okay.
Okay, thanks. So, hello, thank you for the opportunity to address the committee today. My name is Roberta Scott. I'm a retired advanced care paramedic with the City of Toronto. I live at 906 Manning Avenue. I've owned my detached house next to the applicant at 908 Manning for just over 20 years. I'm a single mother raising my 17-year-old son there, and I'm the sole owner of the home. I'd like to express my strong objections to all the minor variances in the application for the laneway house at 908 Manning. It's clear that what the applicant is asking for is not, in fact, minor in any way. In looking at the application, he has no structural or technical reasons to ask for the variances, as my neighbor Dean has already mentioned. He doesn't need them in any way to build his laneway house and the stairway within the current zoning. I ask that this build be kept within the confines of the existing bylaws and zoning rules, as they are there for good reasons. And I'm referring to 3 of the 4 tests for a minor variance application. 2, general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw. This application violates the height and setback requirements. It is proposed to be substantially higher and moving a great distance into the past the allowed 10 meters into his backyard. In fact, the structure will be bigger than his main house. These are all very clear violations, and they affect the neighbors. 3, minor in nature. These applications are not, all of them are not minor. They absolutely violate and alter the fundamental character of the area for myself and my neighbors, as we will be faced with a massive building that violates the intent of the zoning bylaws, that will unnecessarily obstruct and diminish the view of trees and the sky and the sunset, and take away the open spaces in our own backyards. Instead, we'll be looking at giant walls, and the bigger that you allow this building to be, the greater the obstruction to all of his neighbors, including myself. 4, desirable for the appropriate development of the land. This application is only desirable for the applicant so that he can have a much bigger living space, but that desire is at the extreme expense of all of the people who live around him, who will have to look at this monstrosity, larger building as we sit outside and try to enjoy our own private backyards or look outside from our back windows. We will lose the enjoyment of the views, the feeling of openness, and the enjoyment that we currently have in our yards. That will be gone. We'll just see a large structure and big walls. None of what the applicant wants to do is in keeping with the spirit of this lovely neighborhood that we have chosen to raise our families in. I ask that you put yourself in our shoes. We're not asking to stop the laneway house. We know that he is within his rights to build that. But we implore the committee to keep the applicant within the existing zoning bylaws and ask that he be given the very strict and regular oversight. The applicant has already started the build, as you heard. He's already built that basement way beyond what he was permitted to build. He was given a permit for 8 feet, and he built 14 feet. It's not clear on the application that the basement has already been built, but I've just said it is. In fact, I think someone asked that question. It's already there. He went ahead and built that. He never posted a building permit. From day one to now, he's never had a permit in front of his house to say that he's building something and what he's allowed to versus what he's built. So the basement has been completed, and he has been given an order to comply, which he has not resolved. So he did start the construction on the unit without finding out if he was allowed to do so by coming to this committee. No building permit has been posted, as I said, and basically he's gone ahead and done a lot of these things without even asking the committee if he can do that. And I have a problem with that. So I've got a minute, so I'm just going to say that in general, I understand that laneway houses are here to stay. But I bought my house. It's a little piece of land, about 20 feet, and I have a neighbor on each side, really close. I accept that because that's what I bought into. I have a lovely yard where I garden. I spend time with my son and our dog. And right now, I get to look at blue sky and lovely scenery. And when that thing gets built, if it gets built according to what he's asking for, I'm going to look out to a massive wall. I'm calling it a small apartment building in my backyard. That's what I'm going to look at. I'm going to have people looking down into my backyard. I'm going to have a huge wall instead of green scenery. And I have a problem with that. I'm just asking that he can do all the things he wants to do within the current bylaws and the zoning. He doesn't need this, and it affects us dramatically, and I would just ask that you consider that. It would be the biggest laneway house by far in this whole neighborhood.
Thank you.
By far.
Just wait, see whether we have questions for this. No, we do not have. So thank you. Thank you. Any other speakers? Okay, let's bring back the applicant. It's online, right? I forgot.
Yep.
Okay, you heard some concerns, right? So you have 5 minutes to address those issues, and we also will have questions for you. I think.
Absolutely. So starting with the construction, so we are aware as designers that there were some challenges on site, and as the neighbors already mentioned, during construction there were hiccups, so they hit some wall at the back. There was the excavation, they had problems with the excavation, and the reasoning between what happened and what they have done and how, again, it's not up to us. What I have before us is just an application, so we are trying to do the best to our knowledge as designers. So in terms of what the neighbors said, the extent of the building, and they are absolutely correct. Like, it looks like it's slightly, let's say, lengthier than the usual, and what's allowed is, even though there is only 12 meters. But regardless, we're gonna have to provide access to the second floor. So either the neighbor is gonna look at, and because the lot is so small, is not wide enough to accommodate just a single flight of stairs, we have to do a U-shape. So the stairs, they're gonna be there no matter what. So either we do exposed metal stairs and it's an eyesore, or either we encompass it within the building and we can do it in different materials and they won't see the stairs. The same thing happens for required bicycle parking. So we can do it in behind the building, but we're gonna take space, and we're gonna probably not be compliant with all the green space required. So we don't have a variance. So we decide to actually put the parking spaces in the basement. So, and that's the reason why we have this basement. This basement is actually for the 2 bicycle parking, and it's going to be actually the mechanical room as well. So all we have done was just pretty much close an envelope that would be a biggest eyesore. In terms of height, we'd like to comply, but again, it's almost impossible unless the neighbor to the north agrees to lower his current condition of the garage and bring it lower, because we are using the demising wall. So there is no other way that we can build the second floor without being above the existing roof line. So on that note, we did pretty much all the best that we could do and make it and mitigate again the eyesore that we could be causing. So the stairs, if we can do it in a single flight of stairs, yes, we'll be within the 10 meters. The garage will still maintain, and the neighbor was saying that he has 2 cars in his garage. Well, for sure he has it illegally, because if we do dimensioning, he only has legal park for 1 car. The same happens with his garage. So It's not that you can fit 2 small cars, it's just the bylaw has a certain, or the building code actually determines that you have a certain length and width, and we have to comply with it. So anytime we try to shift or do something else, we trigger another condition, another variance. So it's like pick let's say the best or the least of the evils. If we take one, we get another one. If we move here, we're gonna trigger another one. So again, trying to work with what we have in terms of conditions, and we talked with planning. Planning was very pleased with the application. They had no comments. Again, transportation was very pleased as well. So I'll leave it as that. If committee members have any questions,
Yes, I do have quite a couple of questions. You just mentioned that once you satisfy one requirement, then you realize that you will violate the other requirement or variances. Then can the staff bring up the photograph, which is E1, the second photograph showing the backyard? My question, yeah, the second one, one more down. This one, no, the previous one. The previous one done. Yes, that one. Is that where the concrete slab in the front of the photograph? Is that you already pour? Is that the garage slab?
Yes, apparently, and right now, yeah, my client has poured the entire thing.
Yes, that's my questions. You haven't got any permit for this, and you haven't gone through a committee adjustment. How do you know that when you meet one requirement and you don't meet another requirement? Well, how do you determine that you can pour a slab like that?
So it was not up to us. Again, even as designers, we got caught a little bit off guard. I believe the contractor there is it's someone that.
Oh, it's the contractor's idea. Okay, you answered my question already. Thank you. And also, when you look at the pictures, right, you have the slab, and then both sides of your slab, adjacent neighbors. I can see that there's excavation. I also, one of the deputies here saying that there are holes that people can fall into. And I think that the minimal, you should actually have some kind of safety construction fence so that you ensure that other people's safety.
I'll pro with you, but on this case, again, we are just designers. We can't control the general contractor, which to me shouldn't be doing construction, period, but it's for a separate venue.
But
right?
you present these photographs to us, and that's why we can ask questions, right? All right, thank you very much, yeah. Okay. We have other questions, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, through you, Madam Chair. To the applicant, you're saying you're just the designer, you can't control the contractor, but the owner can. And so why is not the owner controlling the contractor?
It's something that I cannot answer, and that's why we are here the second time around, because when we were there the first time, we had a certain construction going on based on the permit issued. When we got there the second time around, there was a surprise, and that's when we told the owner, do you have a clue of what's happening here? Because your contractor is messing up your life and is going to make our life difficult as designers to legalize something that you are going to end up, and you clearly see there is a slab. So we have to destroy this slab to actually make the stairs to going downstairs. So poor client, he's going to be in deep trouble financially because he contracted someone that clearly didn't know what we're doing and we're doing nexus and right now he's in a little bit of a pickle, I'll say.
All right, so I'm looking at your proposed basement plan for the laneway suite, or the suite. Can you explain what you're going to be using that basement for? I think you said bicycle storage?
Yes, correct. That's where we have the bicycle parking. So we could have the parking, the bicycle parking at the top, but that will encroach into the soft landscaping and will trigger another variance. So having it down there, it doesn't trigger the variance.
Okay, but all the drawing says is unexcavated.
No, this is actually not the drawing. This is the old one.
Okay, where is the new one?
Yep. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, the new one.
So you can see there that we actually, we intend to leave the wall where it is, trying to save the cost, because again, the client is going to be already in a pickle.
Right.
I don't want to say innocently, but because he couldn't control the contractor. And again, this was done, I don't know if his knowledge or without the knowledge. And what we're trying to do is set back, so bring to where we need to have the stairs enclosed, and take advantage now that you have down there. We just reverse the stairs.
All right, but that drawing, all it says is unexcavated. Where is the bicycle parking going to be?
It's to the right side. It's there, bicycle parking.
Well, what about the rest of the basement?
It's gonna be the mechanical room.
Okay.
That's where we're gonna have our furnace, our boilers and everything.
Okay. Variance number 2, you're proposing or requesting a 12.03 meter length. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, it is.
All right, so I'm looking at your site plan, and the actual structure itself, three-dimensionally, does not reach 12.03. It reaches 11.9, I believe. What
Yes,
is the
correct.
rest of that?
You're absolutely right. So the 12.03 is the edge of the existing basement concrete. So the entire structure, actually, it's in fact 11.2. But because the basement is going to come a few inches off ground, of course, for grading purpose, right? So water doesn't go inside. So the building length itself is actually 11.12.
So
we are setting the building from the basement up, main and second floor. The building is only 11.12 meters.
Yes, that's what I see. But you're required to have a building length of 12.03.
It's the interpretation of the zoning examiner, because the basement will come a few inches, 6 inches or so has to come off the ground, and it triggers the variance of saying that it's 12.03 instead of the 11.12.
So what you're telling me is that
11.12.
What you're telling me is that the city staff has determined that that is all part of the structure.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
To me, I interpret it a different way, but I don't want to defy the zoning examiner. We just leave it as it is.
Yes, please, Peter, yeah.
Thanks, Chair. Can we just go back to that photo that has the slab poured on page 436, please? I'm not really understanding, again, are the stairs underneath that? And is this being capped off with a slab? Or are the stairs going to be constructed closer to the house than that?
Through you, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Member Reid. Yeah, that's where I scratch my head and say, how come can someone build something like this? Because we have to cut the slab now. So that's why we're trying to fix the mistakes that this contractor shouldn't be a contractor, period. And when we see these, I just go like, someone has to be completely out of their mind to build something like this.
Okay, so what I'm asking is, do the stairs exist underneath that slab?
No.
No, okay. And where that slab ends, is that where your plans show the basement portion of the laneway suite ending?
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
And then that means that the stair will extend further out by, I guess it's because it's a two flight stair, so it will be another 8 feet out from there, something like that.
Madam Chair, the stairs will be right beside the wall that we are seeing on the picture there. The stairs will start there. So the slab that you see there, it has to be cut all the way around. So we have to cut the stairs from that slab.
Okay.
You see that piece of wood that's there? That's covering a hole. That's already going downstairs.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I see. All right.
So there's no slab that you need to cut. It's already there's a hole there already.
I see.
But it's not enough. It's not
Okay,
correct.
thank you. Yeah.
You're right, it might
Yeah.
be there something, but it's not correct. So
Yeah.
everything is wrong here.
And you'll notice,
Okay.
you'll notice all the brick.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's not, yeah, I have one more question, just a very quick question to the applicant. You realize that you're asking for extra length, right? It's from 10 to, now it's 12. Do you know why you need that 12 meter? Is it because you just want a bigger suite, or is any other reasons that it's 12?
Yeah, so through you,
Yeah.
Madam Chair. So
Yeah.
if we put the stairs inside the existing garage, we have to cut off the garage, and then we're gonna be without a parking spot. So if we don't have a parking spot, then we have a variance, and transportation is not happy about it. So we have to have the stairs on the outside. When we have the stairs on the outside, because the lot is not that wide to have a single flight, we have to have a U shape. When we have a U shape, we're gonna have the stairs outside the building, but instead of having an eyesore outside the building, we decide to enclose it. And while we enclose it, we actually can do all the mechanical work to this new mini basement that we can use and send everything upstairs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, but then when I look at your plan, your existing garage, which is already quite deep, why do you think that you cannot build a laneway suite within the 10 meter? And then how deep is now your proposed plan? Okay, for the yes, maybe the ground floor plan. It seems that the garage is pretty deep. Do you need it that deep? Yeah, that one. Yeah.
It's
Yes.
deeper than normal, yes, but it wouldn't accommodate both flight of stairs. At best, would accommodate one flight of stairs.
Yeah,
So
but
what
then
we try to do
I
is
see.
keep that wall, maintain the wall, and just bring the stairs fully outside. So again, we ourselves as designer, we have a big pickle trying to solve everything and trying to control, and we stopped the contractor, of course, because the owner now realized where he is, and finally we're trying to do the best that we can as designers, trying to fit everything and trying to salvage or salvage here whatever we can from the build structure. And thank God that it's a basement. That basement, we can partially cover the concrete with soil or make a planter and nobody will see it, right? So it's not that it's an iceberg that has like 30 meters of length. No, and again, the total length of the building is 11.12, not the 12 meters, but as a technicality is considered 12.
Yeah, but when I look at these pictures, even on the screen, on the second floor, your floor plans extend to the edge of the, including all the length, including all the stairs, and then your building actually is in line with the stairs. So it's not that because of the stair, your building is actually building you're building over this in line with the stairs. So it means it's 12 meter, right? The whole length.
Again, not 12 meters. The 12 meters is just the basement. So the building, if we can go to a different view, you will see that the distance is actually not the 12, it's 11.12.
Okay,
it's
well,
for
yeah,
a portion of the
I see.
basement.
Maybe I read it different.
Just a portion of the basement closer to the house beyond the stairs projects out. So the stairs are enclosed, but then there's still this
There we go. This is the
expensive bike parking.
It did not say, okay,
Yeah.
it did not say it's about, okay, thank you. Any other question to this? Okay. We do not have any more questions. Now we are in committee. Who want to start? Okay, please. Yeah.
Sure, I can start, Chair. Thanks. I mean, obviously, this is a very messy application, right? It was messy last time, and it's still messy now. And it was still hard to get facts from the applicant. I think this is too much, honestly, even though the variances do read as very small. The built form of the building is only a meter a bit over what's permitted, the depth, or the length, sorry. But I do think it just feels like they made a mistake and then they're now trying to fit stuff, fit the building to correct those mistakes. And I think that results in a building that is too dominant for the site. And I think the main one, like the height is high, partly because it's a high garage. But the GFA2 is you know, being bigger than the actual home. Like we almost never see that variance come up.
Yes.
And I think that gets to the intent of the laneway suite zoning bylaw, that it's supposed to be a subservient,
Yes.
and a smaller building footprint and smaller massing. And that's to preserve quality of life
Yes.
in the rear
And the impact
yards,
too,
right?
yeah.
And so the impact is
Yeah.
large, I think. And I thought the neighbors
Yeah.
made some really good points, and were actually really helpful in terms of
I totally,
clarifying.
I totally agree. And then actually what weighs me, weight more, I think, is variance number 3.
Yeah.
Because the whole intent of the zoning bylaw for Laneway Street is it is a secondary street, and it is just, but then before, we actually have more bylaws that require the 45 angular plane. The reason is to minimize the impact to the neighborhood property. And the way I reason this is also the 12 meter that bothers me, whether it's 11.2 or 12 meter, because it's not because it's produced by the restraint of the site. It's actually they desire to just build a little longer. And then, and as a result, the neighbors, both sides, are facing 2 buildings, actually. It's not one main building and a street and a laneway street. They actually, this new building is bigger in GFA than the main building. So I do not think it is the intention of the zoning bylaw, so I cannot support this either. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you both for those comments.
No, that's fine. We are still in committee. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I thought it's coming from the other.
Oh, that's okay. No, it's me. It's Katie. I really appreciate those comments and all the discussion today. I sat with the combination of the first 2 variances combined with number 3 is where I was also very hung up on this. I, in general, am a huge supporter of laneway suites, but I agree that this is simply too much given the context that we're working with.
Okay. Yeah, please, Dino, yeah.
Thank you. I concur with my colleagues on their comments. I remind the applicant and those listening that a variance is a privilege, not a right. And this particular proposal is problematic for me. First of all, the lot width is 5.8 meters, which is 19.3 feet. So remember that. And the official plan policy initiatives regarding laneway suites contains language that basically says that laneway suites are to be constructed to be subordinate in height and area to the principal dwelling on a lot. The proposal is for a laneway suite that is taller, longer, and larger than what is permitted. And we have to look at all 3 measurements in terms of a building envelope. The performance standards in the zoning bylaw were included to guide the form and scale of laneway suites to ensure that new laneway suites are subordinate to the main building and they limit their impacts on abutting or surrounding properties. Now, I'm cognizant that there are no variances for rear yard or side yard setbacks or rear yard soft landscaping, and that there are large 1-story detached garages along Perillo Lane. But laneway housing is contemplated as secondary subordinate built form, and therefore it does not result in a built form that's compatible or fit the existing character of the neighborhood. And I'll use this language, I apologize, it's not plain language, but it's tautology, which basically means it's commonly accepted in jurisprudence at the Ontario Land Tribunal and the TLAB that if one variance fails one of the 4 tests in the Planning Act, then the variance itself fails the application, including the variances requested. I think the key variances are 2 and 3, specifically 3. And so I'm of the opinion that that this laneway suite is too large and it doesn't meet the criteria and the initiatives in the monitoring program and the Gladkey report that provided generous amendments to the original laneway suite policies. So I will not be supporting this application. And sorry for the lengthy
No,
diatribe.
it's fine. Those are all good comments, believe me. Do we have a motion? Yep. Mhm.
Sure, Chair, thanks. And thanks, colleagues, for your comments. I move that, for the reasons we discussed, the application be refused.
Yes, I didn't want to second that. We have a second. All in favor to disprove, what do you call it? Refuse, I mean, sorry. All in favor, unanimously refuse, yeah. Thank you for coming.
I have one question. So it said to get a copy of this decision.
Talk to the staff.
Through you, Madam Chair, all the decisions will be emailed next week, okay? As long as we have your email address.
I
Perfect.
just wanted to make sure that that's where.
Yep, perfect.
I
Yep.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. That was a good discussion. And now we move to item 22. I 213 GLEDHILL Avenue. This is to construct a new three-story detached dwelling, which is a houseplex with a front and rear basement walkout and a covered front porch with stair, and also partially covered ground floor deck and front and rear second and third story balcony and a rear yard parking pad. There will be a total of 6 residential dwelling units on this lot. We received survey, site plan, floor plan elevations, 2 photographs, and presentation material from the agent. We received comment from Urban Forestry. We received support from 279 Cedarville and also 1131 Woodbine Avenue. We received a number of oppositions from 195, 215, 221 GLEDHILL Avenue, and also 182 Oak Park Avenue. Yeah. So we're ready for the applicant. Or
Through you, Madam Chair, we have the agent here in person, and we do have opposition speakers online and in person as well.
How many? 2 other speakers. So it seems that we need to have a presentation. Welcome back. So
Good afternoon.
Give us your name and address also.
Craig Race, the applicant, 100 Lombard Street.
Oh, okay, thank you. So it seems that you do have some opposition. Can give us a brief
If
presentation?
staff could please pull up our supporting material, I'll give a presentation. This application is for minor variances related to the front entry, rear entry, and the side yard setback of a sixplex. If we can go to the next page, please. Thanks. There's something blocking the screen, just whoever has control of that. The site is located north of the Danforth near Main Street. It's approximately 1 kilometer from 2 subway stations and a GO station and the Danforth bike lanes. Next page, please. There are 5 variances related to this application. The most prominent one is the south side yard setback. We also have 3 porch variances at the front and the rear of the building. I'll quickly note the platform variances do not relate to any balconies or second or third story platforms. We also have a variance for front door elevation above grade. I'll quickly note that the existing south side yard setback on the site is 0.28 meters, so the 0.6 meter variance is an improvement of over 1 foot. The as-of-right requirement here is 0.9. We have designed the building to be narrower than required and shifted it to the south with the idea that that will increase the width of the mutual driveway at the north edge of the site. The mutual driveway is presently about 7 feet wide. Between the 2 existing homes, it will be a little over 8 feet as a result of this application. I also want to quickly note the absence of many significant minor variances. We are not seeking variances for depth, front or rear setback, height, landscaping, or any major build form volume requirements other than side yard setback. If we go to the next page, we did perform a study to verify if our assumptions on the setback being acceptable were correct. In performing a study along this block, both sides of GLEDHILL and the rear properties on Oak Park, we found that almost 90% of lots had side yard setbacks of less than 0.6 meters, which is what we're proposing. And also the committee has a history of over 50 approved variances within a half-meter radius, four-side or a setback of worse than 0.6 meters. Next page, please. An interesting variance that does come up for platforms is not related to the size of the balconies on the upper floor, but more importantly, the location. The zoning bylaw requires that every unit can only have one balcony per side of the building, essentially. Because we have split our units into front back, we end up with 2 platforms per side for 1 unit. So per these section diagrams, if you could imagine we designed the units per the diagram on the left, we would have no variances for our upper story platforms. But because we keep our living spaces only 1 story above sidewalk level, we actually trigger a variance, even though we have the same number of balconies and the area of them conforms in every other respect. If we go to the next page, the owner has undertaken outreach to the immediate neighbors and reached out to anyone who submitted letters. That includes conversations with both immediate neighbors, and I'll be happy to respond to any comments that result from that. The primary concern we heard is simply the number of units for the sixplex. This is a Toronto East York ward. It is subject to bylaw 654, which was enacted by council last summer that allowed for 6 units as of right in this area, as well as all other areas and wards in Toronto East York. So the number of units is not a variance. If you go to the next page, I'll quickly summarize by positing the notion that this application is, in my mind, superior to an as-of-right alternative. It would be possible to maintain portions of the existing building and create a 0.28 meter south side yard setback with no variances. We could also build closer to the mutual drive, which would essentially render it useless. So the variances being sought in this application are an improvement to both of those conditions and, to my view, create a balanced application that is superior to what an as-of-right application could be. Thank you. Pleased to respond to any questions.
Okay, thank you. You want, yeah, we can wait till we hear the opposition. Yeah, sure. Please, yeah.
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair, the speaker at 198 Oak Park Avenue, please head up to the podium.
198.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
So I don't have a formally submitted letter of opposition, but you're welcome to bring up any of the other 5 or 6 from any of them. They all contain pretty similar content and concerns if you haven't read them already. But I'll highlight some of them. Obviously, they have more unique ones because they're on the same street. Whereas my name is Adam Postalion. I live on 198 Oak Park. So my backyard directly butts up against 213 Gledhill Avenue. So some of the concerns they have on sidewalk, collection, garbage, waste, I don't echo those because I live behind, but they do. So I did want to call to concern a few things, primarily on the widespread neighborhood opposition, including the multiple letters of opposition. Within the the applicant's outreach effort across the 28 properties outlined, those 2 properties with with letters of support, those are 2 and 4 streets away. So those are actually arguably not even impacted by this potential development. On the outreach, no Oak Park properties were included, despite those properties directly backing on to Gledhill. So to me, those draw into question the representativeness of the claimed community support and the authenticity of the outreach. Additionally, the latest development at 191 Gledhill, none of those properties were asked for insights, and that property also had similar bylaw non-compliance issues. So those were also missing from the outreach. But my other primary concern is on the privacy concerns from the 3rd floor balconies and the precedent that this would set. Having those multiple balconies at various elevations causes a severe concern when it comes to privacy intrusions impacting surrounding properties. This directly removes the individual right to privacy, creating balconies where others can see directly into your own home, where you have no individual control over this. The unverifiable precedent claims that were mentioned in the proposal, the 3 other properties mentioned. None of those properties are available for review on the Toronto Planning website, so those references to those materials are unverifiable as precedent claims. Additionally, in the demolition plan portion, there was a removal of 12 trees on the property, ranging from 30 to 50 feet in height, which used to provide significant natural privacy screening and prevented sight lines that previously did not exist. Additionally, there was a property on the southeast corner of the property border that was also removed and not accounted for in the demolition site plans. I have photos of what it looked like back in October. This raises concerns on the completeness and the accuracy of the submitted documentation. Kind of in pursuant to all of that, there was also no arborist, greenscape plan, or landscaping plan. I know the urban forestry did not require any replanting, or there was no protected trees required. All the trees happened to be below the 30-centimeter requirement. However, 12 mature trees were removed on the property, which in my stance would materially impact the greenscape of the property, as well as the availability for water retention and basement flooding risks. I know this committee doesn't address water management or basement flooding, so I won't go into that section on my notes. But essentially, I'll recap in saying that the requestment for the decks and balconies should be considered highly. There's nowhere in the policy does it talk about balconies for sixplexes. That doesn't exist. It talks about triplexes and quadplexes, but there's nothing about sixplexes in the policy. So I'd highly recommend reviewing and assessing whether or not those balconies should be valid. I would also request a follow-up or submission on a greenscaping or landscaping plan to maintain the green space as well as potential water retention that is going to be impacted, removing 12 root systems in the backyard. One other thing, if it's also within the scope of this council to recommend an updated infrastructure and basement flooding investigation environmental assessment, the last one was done in 2023 in assignment area 4717, which is at Eglinton and Ashtonby, which is 6 kilometers northeast of this property. And so therefore, because this property sits south of Taylor Creek, I would argue that the water retention and water flow far 6 kilometers northeast have no bearing and don't encompass the potential flooding risks that could occur in the area for this property in question.
Do we have questions?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just one quick question. I understand that you have a concern about the validity of the data in terms of the previous Committee of Adjustment decisions. You call them precedents, but I'll refrain from using that, but that the applicant has provided to us. Is that correct?
So I noticed in the demolition plan, I'm not an architect, so I'm new to these, but in the demolition site plan where it articulates where the trees are on there, I noticed there was at least one tree that I know that was removed that is not on there.
Maybe you misunderstood my question.
Sorry.
Sorry. So you talked about properties that were not within a particular radius of the subject site.
Yeah, yeah.
You're saying were included by the applicant in their analysis.
Yeah.
So are you questioning the 500-meter radius that the applicant has, that representative has provided and undertaken for a neighborhood study area?
Yes, so if you go to the neighborhood study area that they mentioned, we reached out to these properties. Oak Park is not on that.
Well, no, they haven't reached out. They've done what we call a jurisdictional scan, which is to see if there have been any Committee of Adjustment decisions that are similar.
Sorry, that's not the one. It's as a stakeholder outreach. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I misspoke on that one. Yeah. Where it talks about the letters of support and they reached out to
Stakeholder outreach, yep.
Yeah. Those ones don't include Oak Park, which directly is behind that, directly to GLEDHILL, so it doesn't include any of that. And the letters of support are not within that range and are 2 or 5 streets over. Like references Woodbine. Woodbine's almost a block and a half west.
So we typically, and I'll speak anecdotally for myself, we certainly encourage applicants to reach out to neighbors and residents in the area, but that's not a requirement. You understand that?
Yep, no, that's fair. I just wanted to call it, there was nuances that were.
Okay, valid. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other question to this speaker? Okay, no, thank you. We have no more questions for you. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, next speaker, please, yeah?
Through you, Madam Chair, to the speaker that's online at 215 Gledhill Avenue. You've been unmuted.
Hi, good afternoon, committee members. We are Allison and Matt McAlpine. We live at 215 Gledhill Avenue. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today.
Yeah.
We're here to share our concerns about the proposed new build and minor variance application for 213 Gledhill Ave. While we support development and new construction beside us, we believe the new build must respect the character, safety, and livability of our neighborhood. As the direct neighbors, we are concerned about privacy as our home has second floor skylights, including one in our primary bathroom. The proposed third floor windows and balconies would allow direct sight lines into these spaces. We appreciate that the existing structure needs redevelopment and we want to work collaboratively. We ask the committee to require revisions such as removing the proposed balconies, converting them to Juliet balconies, or adding privacy screening to prevent overlook into our home. Our street already struggles with parking congestion, snow removal, garbage placement, and low water pressure. A 6-unit building with 10 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, and 6 kitchens will intensify these pressures. We are also concerned about fire safety and spatial separation, given the number of full kitchens and the proximity to our home. These are not minor operational impacts. They affect both residents and neighbors. And we also are very worried about garbage removal. It's hard enough for us to fit 2 bins from the previous resident at the end of our street. I'm not looking forward to having to worry about 6 bins from our neighbor next to us as well. We are seeking a more reasonable development on this lot. We have been in communication with the owner regarding our shared laneway and privacy concerns, and we hope to continue that dialogue. We respectfully request that the committee require revisions that preserve the privacy of our home and maintain the character of Gledhill Avenue. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Okay, privacy. Okay, thank you. Any question to this speaker? No, thank you. Yeah. We have no more speakers. Okay, we're back to the applicant. You heard some issues there. I'll give you 5 minutes to respond, and we can ask our questions. So, yeah.
Certainly. With respect to tree removal, there have been trees removed on the site. They have all been undersized. They're not protected. There is a forestry condition applied to this application, which we're more than accepting. Condition 3, I believe, to add a straight tree.
Yeah.
But all the trees that were on the site were small, as you could see from the demolition plan. The comment about soft landscaping and water retention, this site is 170 feet deep and has a massive amount of soft landscaping. This exceeds the amount of soft landscaping I see on the vast majority of my projects. I'll also note when the water supply application for a multiplex goes into the city, typically a 2-inch water supply is required. That subjects the applicant to stormwater management calculations where civil engineering will be required to address that, although it does not specifically pertain to today's application other than the amount of soft landscaping for which there's no variance. With respect to views into skylights on the adjacent property, I don't believe that to be a concern. We have relatively modest side windows that are in bedrooms. Those are a daylighting requirement in the building code, and privacy out is a concern as well as privacy in. So I hope the application will not cause any undue effect on views into skylights. I'm pleased to answer any other questions or if I missed anything.
Yes, I have just one quick question about those balconies at the back, especially those. Are those code required to have because they're not very big. I noticed that basically they just enough to put a little table or even stand there, yeah.
Thank you, I forgot that. The 3rd floor balconies are required. They're what's known as an area of refuge because that floor is more than 2 flights of stairs, more than 1 flight of stairs from the exit.
Yeah.
And although we do have a number of balconies on one side of the unit, as I mentioned, they are otherwise compliant and were designed as such.
Because there's certain, as one of your neighbors were concerned about privacy, do you think it makes any improvement if we're going to put some privacy screen on the north and south side of the balcony, or will that even make it more prominent and
I had a feeling you were going to ask for that. We prefer not to have privacy screening because the dimensions of the balconies are otherwise compliant. So we hope that's not necessary.
And I would think that because first of all, the first floor it says required, but I think that the area is too small for really entertainment or people stand there for a long period of time. Besides, you do have a very long backyard. I think maybe most of the time they like to go to the backyard.
I tend to agree, yes.
For recreation reasons. Okay. So that's my question. Any other question to the applicant, please? Okay, no more questions, and then we are in committee. Who would like to start with this one? And sure, yeah.
Well, I think the application was extremely well explained by the applicant. There's no major built form variances. The design is very attractive, reflects neighborhood character. Sixplex is as of right, which seems to be sort of the main objections that we heard from neighbors rather than adverse impact from specific variances.
You're right.
So I would support the application.
Yeah. So I'd like to add another comment that they can see the planning rationale. They do have a very long but narrow site, but they utilize the length. So making the buildings narrower but longer, and I think that is a direct response to the site character. I think that is a good approach. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I concur. This is a rather deep lot, and this type of built form, I believe, is compatible within the dimensions of the lot. Given the three-story form, it's within a PMTSA. The proposal supports the city's goal to expand multiplex, and I'll use the term houseplex because that's the more recent term, permissions to increase new low-rise housing options on properties in areas designated neighborhoods in the city of Toronto. The proposal also achieves the development goals of housing forms that are available to a wider spectrum of incomes and household compositions. And so for those reasons, I'm looking at the 5 variances individually and cumulatively. I'm satisfied they meet the 4 planning tests in the 4 statutory tests in the Planning Act.
Thank you.
I'll be supporting the application.
Okay. Any other comment? So, Anne would like to have
I'll move a motion to support the application with urban forestry condition 3.
Yeah, that's the only condition, right? Yeah, you want to tie to any other things like drawings and all? Okay, that's the only condition for urban forestry. All in favor? Oh no, we need a second. Sorry, I didn't know second. And all in favor? It's approved unanimously. Thank you. Yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair, does anyone need a break? 5 minutes? Okay, please turn off your videos, microphones. Let's mute the room.
Bathroom break.
Oh, I can't get this. Okay.
Okay, members, please turn on your videos, microphones. We'll unmute the room and resume.
Next item is 23. It's 143 Hatherley Road. This is to alter the existing two-story detached dwelling and convert it into a houseplex by constructing a side two-story addition and a third floor addition and a front basement walkout and a front ground floor covered porch and a second story side outdoor patio and a rear first story rooftop patio, and also to convert the existing one-story detached garage into a garden suite by adding another floor to it. And there will be a total of 5 residential units, 4 in the main building and also 1 as the garden suite. We receive a plan, a survey, site plan, floor plan, elevation, 7 photographs, and arborist report and presentation material from the agent. And we also receive a staff report from Urban Forestry and support, 2 letters of support from 140 and Hatherley and also 378 Harvey Avenue. And we have received a letter of interest and concern from 138 Hatherley. And opposition we received from 136, 139 at Hatherley Street, Road. Thank you. That is all the material we received. We're ready for the agent.
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair, the speaker, the agent is online and there are no speakers for this item.
Okay, there's no other speakers. Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. My name is Marco Vieira. I'm the agent and the designer. My address is 257 Dunraven Drive.
Okay, thank you. And since it's not contested, no one is speaking against this, but although we do receive a few letters of opposition, I don't want to check whether the panel wants a presentation. No? We have questions, yeah. Please go ahead. And also, I'd like to also, at the end, maybe you can just briefly address those opposition letters, yeah.
Thanks, Chair. I'm assuming you've seen the letter from Urban Forestry.
Through you, Mr. Chair, yes, I have.
And do you have any comment on their recommendation for refusal of couple variances?
Yes, I believe that we can work with Urban Forestry to get their approval. The current existing backyard has approximately 6% of landscaping right there. It's heavily paved with a driveway leading to the existing garage and a raised interlocking patio. Essentially, from the existing dwelling to the existing front of the garage, it's all built up. So we've directed the walkway to the garden suite to ensure that it clears the tree protection zone, so that the tree in the back will be maintained and minimized in terms of injury. We're also proposing permeable pavers to offset the lesser soft landscaping that we have. So even though the existing is much more heavily paved, we did bring up our proposal to almost 32%, and we feel that with the permeable pavers, it will allow for more water to infiltrate within our lot and minimize any impact. The property to the west is the cemetery. It's heavily landscaped, so we feel that we can work with forestry. The garage is existing. I don't know if they took that into account, that if this was new proposal or using the existing footprint. The proposed addition to the garden suite is outside of the tree protection zone. So we do believe that if approved, working with their condition number 2 to submit the complete application, that we can get the approval from forestry.
Right. Okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
Okay, please go ahead, Mr. Labandi. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair, through you to the applicant. I'm just looking at the 3 variances, 6, 7, and 8 for the garden suite, proposed garden suite. So in terms of, first of all, variance 6, The City of Toronto and planning staff increased the requirement for the rear yard setback from 1.5 to 3 meters in the last review. Why, and I'll combine this with my question regarding variance 8, which is the height proposal. City staff also increased the permitted height from 6 to 6.3 meters in their most recent update. Why do you require the reduction in rear yard setback that you do and also the increase in height?
Through you, Mr. Chair. So variance number 6 and 7 deal with the rear yard setback and the side yard setback. And those are taken to the existing concrete block or solid masonry wall that is there. So we were looking to retain the footprint of the existing garage.
Okay.
And then to the south of us, there is a large existing brick and block garage. My client did speak to that homeowner. He is aware and has no objections. The current garage is almost like a full 2-story garage there now. It's got like a sloped ceiling with a gable end. So we believe that keeping those two variances because of the garages to the south of us, it has no impact to the adjacent property. And in terms of variance number 8, which is tied to the height, that 6.78 meters is actually a proposed extension on the front, just because we've extended the parapet slightly above the rest of the garage. So the remaining part of the garage is at 6.48 meters. And the little protrusion, if you do go to my presentation materials also, we prepared a realistic rendering of what it could look like. And we do show that. Yeah, right, one back. Right there. So if you see the brick portion on the right side of the laneway, the garden suite, kind of extends about 1 foot and a couple of inches over the left side. So that's where the height is taken. The remaining whole surface of the roof is actually all at the same level.
Okay, thank you for that. No more questions.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions? No, so we are ready to bring this in committee. Okay, we are in committee now. Yeah, please. Peter, thank you. Yeah.
Sure, Chair, thanks. I think this is a good proposal. I like the fact that it's reusing the existing garage in the back, and I do agree with the applicant's assertion that behind it is another garage, and so that impact of that setback, I think, is really lessened, right? Because it's already just kind of jumbled there. And having the neighbor to the other side being the cemetery, I think gives it a bit more breathing room, right? It may be different if there were another neighbor there or another living neighbor there. But I think as it stands, the variances that are being requested are totally fine and supportable. I think they're minor in impact. And so unless anyone has anything else to add, I'll just bring a motion.
Yes, please, yeah.
Yeah, and I did take his point to the urban forestry. I think that...
Is it like the urban forestry say that if we approve it, they will have to impose the other two conditions, right? Yeah, we still need to impose those, right?
Condition number 2, yeah. I think, but the having the permeable pavers, but also having the path curving around the tree protection zone is really smart. So I'll move approval subject to urban forestry condition 2, and I'd like to tie it to the site plan to ensure the permeable pavers.
Yes, yeah. Yes, please. Please, yeah.
I wrote down perhaps privacy screening for the rear third floor rooftop patio. Would you be okay with that?
Sure.
But what edge, which edge? Do you know the orientations?
That's a good question.
It would be facing east.
East edge.
Yeah.
East edge on the rooftop, privacy screen.
Third floor rooftop patio.
Yeah.
And with that, I'll second that motion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me write it. Third floor patio. Okay. All right, with that, would like to second that? You second, okay. All in favor of the conditions? All in favor, is unanimously approved. Thank you. It's approved. And the item 24 is 473 Greenwood Avenue, This is to alter the existing two-story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a rear second-story addition and a complete fifth-story addition and a new rear ground floor deck with stairs. We received a survey site plan, floor plan elevation, 2 photographs, and an email corresponding from presentation material from the agent. We received comment from Metrolinx and also comment from Planning and Development, TTC.
Through you, Madam Chair, the agent is online and there are no speakers for this item.
Okay.
Sal Cremi, you've been unmuted.
Good afternoon, through you, Madam Chair. Sal Creamy, address 2572 Eglinton Avenue West.
It seems that it's quite a straightforward application and that you do not have any opposition. So I see whether a panel anyone wants a presentation. We have a question. Do we have question?
No, thanks.
Okay, we do not need a presentation from you or we have any questions. So do you have anything you want to address the panel before we move into discussion?
Not if there are not any questions.
No, we do not. Okay, so now we are in committee. Anyone to pick this up? It's pretty straightforward and yeah.
I can take this one, Chair. Thank you. Let me just get oriented here. Yes. So I think that this application makes a lot of sense. It's only 2 variances that we're dealing with. We don't see any opposition. We do have a TTC staff report with condition number 5. If nobody else had comments, I'm happy to move a motion to approve with that condition in place.
Do I have a second? Peter, second, and with the TTC condition, all in favor? All in favor, is that unanimously approved? Thank you. I saw your hand up before everybody, so it's still unanimously there. Okay, so the next item is 25, is 63 St. Hubert Avenue. This is to construct a new 3-story detached dwelling with a basement and also with an integral garage from the front, a rear second-story covered deck, and a rear basement walkout. There will be a total of 2 residential dwelling units on this lot. And we received a survey site plan, floor plan elevation, 3 photographs of trees, and a cover letter from the agent. We received staff report from community planning and also support, 3 signatures support from St. Hubert, which is 59, 61, and 67. We also have opposition from 63 Hubert Avenue. That's all we have received. Any other speakers besides the applicant?
Through you, Madam Chair, no, the agent is here in person.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Trevor Gain, I'm the agent here on behalf of the owners.
Yes. And it seems that it's not a contested application. So anyone wants the presentation? No. Any question to the applicant? No. Okay, it seems that we don't have any questions. Yeah, please, yes, go ahead.
Because you're here, thanks. No, just to check that you've seen community planning conditions and you're fine with those 3?
Yeah, we were talking to community planning, and if I was going to add in, I was going to mention that we're totally fine with the community planning. And the house that we're proposing is pretty similar to what's happening in the whole neighborhood. I submitted some photographs. You could drive around. It's pretty much in keeping, so fairly straightforward.
Yes, we are making use of the opportunity that you're here. I ask very small questions. Let me think now. I had a question. Oh, yes, sorry. There's an opposition from 65. Can you speak to that a little bit? So although
we tried to speak to them. We went through the neighborhood and gathered some signatures. Some people just didn't want to sign, but they didn't want to oppose. So we tried to talk to them quite a bit. He kept kind of just pushing us off. And then after reading her letter, I kind of understand it now. He's just not a well man. But the privacy issue is basically taken care of with the Planning Act, with the privacy screens on the side.
Okay.
And I'll just mention that this is a 3-story house kind of by definition because of our basement. We didn't over excavate it, so if we had a deeper basement, then this would be truly a 2-story house, and then that deck actually projects as of right. It's less than 2.5 meters, which is more than 1.4 meters above grade. that's the criteria, but because of the definition of what our ground floor is our second floor, so that's a second floor deck, thus the variance of only maximum 4 square meters, but it's, it is in the intent of the bylaw.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Any other questions? No, we do not have any more. But now we are committee. You have anything you want to, any more you want to?
No, I just got a wife tapping her foot, so
Thank you,
ready to go.
Dina. Yes, you.
Thank you. Yeah, I can support this application. It's fairly straightforward. It's a modest renovation or redevelopment of the property. Obviously, community planning supports the application. They recommended 3 conditions, which the applicant has agreed to. The only concern that I originally had was with the size of the proposed rear second-story covered deck, but because of the size, but it's really, again, as the applicant explained, it really is, for all intents and purposes, a ground floor deck, but because of the height, it's considered second floor. I acknowledge and concur that the privacy screening on both the north and south sides will mitigate and remedy privacy overlook issues on the neighboring properties. And also, I think installing permeable pavers in the front yard will offset the decrease in the soft landscaping. So I'm prepared to move a motion. I'm satisfied that the application variance is requested, respect and reinforce the existing planned character of the neighborhood, and will result in a stable built form that will fit the neighborhood. So I'm prepared to move a motion approving the application, granting the 3 variances. And I don't think there are any conditions of approval, but we could tie this to the site plan.
Through you, Madam Chair,
There's
community planning.
Have 3 conditions.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
3
of course,
conditions,
of
yeah.
course. I just
we
mentioned
already-
that.
yeah.
It's getting late.
Yes,
Yes.
we do. And then you want to tie it to site plan. I agree with that too, because it will show the permeable paver, right?
I forget, though, what the conditions from planning were, because that might be included.
Site plan is one of the
Yeah,
conditions.
so we don't have to.
We don't have
So
to,
the
right,
3
yeah.
conditions from
Yeah.
of approval from
How about
planning.
the privacy screen is already proposed on the drawings?
Yep. That's one of them. Community planning.
Okay, so community
So sorry.
planning has tied to site plan, front yard parking.
I agree with Dino though. It's late.
It's getting late, so we apologize for, yeah.
Although I read it.
Anyway, that's the motion with the 3 conditions.
Peter Reid, second. So all in favor with those conditions? Okay, all is unanimous. Yeah, all in favor, all unanimously approved. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
So item number 26 is 175 HUMBERCREST Boulevard. This is to order the existing 2-story detached dwelling by constructing a rear first and second floor addition and a complete first-story addition and a rear ground floor covered deck with stairs, and also to construct a new 1-story detached auxiliary building containing a 2-car garage. And we received a survey, site plan, floor plan, and elevations, 3 photographs from the agent, and also we received a staff report from Urban Forestry and with 1 letter of support from 177 HUMBERCREST
Through
Boulevard.
you, Madam Chair, the agent is online and there are no speakers.
There's no speaker. Okay.
Hello, Madam Chair.
Yes, it's not a contested application. Do we need no, we do not need a presentation from you, but I do
Through
have
you, Madam
questions.
Chair, if she can just state her first and last name and address, thank you.
My name is Antonella Wild, 12 Holloway Road. I'm the agent and the designer.
Okay, thank you. So maybe we do have some questions, do we? I actually do have a question of variance number 5. It seems to be like a bigger than you allowed, eh? You almost double the coverage. Yeah. Is it an existing condition or what?
Sorry, for the garage?
Yes.
So
It's variance number 5, I mean. Yeah.
Number 5.
Yeah.
So 4 and 5 basically talk about the footprint of the garage.
Yeah.
And if you look at page at the site plan, you'll see that it is exactly the same size as the current garage, just the current garage required some repairs. So we propose to just push it a little closer to the laneway without sparking any variances. But at the same time, it matches, if you see the existing garage to the north and south as well.
I see.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
exactly the same. I think it's like 1 square meter smaller than the existing footprint.
Yeah, because it seems it's a condition that you inherited. Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
All right, so any other questions? No, we do not have any more questions. Do you want to address the panel on any kind of other issues?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now we are committee. Yeah, we committee. Yeah, Peter, please. Yeah.
Thanks, Chair. I think this is a good application, and I do take that the garage or ancillary building variance looks large, but it's basically a rebuild, and it's really in line with the size of the neighbors. Right? So I think that's fine. And the only other thing that stood out was the GFA, but mostly that's contained within an existing footprint, and I did appreciate the fact that there's a lot of a removal of a really large deck. So I think this is a thoughtful redevelopment with good massing and few impacts. So I'll move approval of the application subject to urban forestry condition 3.
Yes. Katie, please second. And we have all in favor for this motion. They are all in favor, unanimously approved. Thank you. It's approved. Yeah, thank you. And now we move to number 28. No, I'm sorry, 27 is 120 MACKAY Avenue. This is to construct a new 2-story detached auxiliary building, which is going to be a laneway suite. And the auxiliary building will have partially cantilever on second floor, and there will be a total of 5 residential dwelling units on this lot, 4 in the main residential building and 1 in the auxiliary building. We have also received a survey site plan, floor plan, elevation, and 20 photographs and of the subject property, and also presentation material from the agent, and we also receive a staff report from Urban Forestry.
Through you, Madam Chair, the agent is online, and there are no speakers for this application.
And
good afternoon, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Sarah Barkley.
Yeah.
My address is 686 Warden Avenue, Scarborough.
Oh, okay. It seems that it's pretty, the variance is pretty straightforward. So do we need a presentation from? No. And it's not a contested application either. So we are ready to, any questions though? Yeah. No. So we are ready to move this into the committees. Do you have anything you want to address us before we start the discussion? Yeah.
I'll just mention that the 5.5 meter setback is to a small 1-story extension on the house. It's a little enclosure over a walkout. So the actual separation distance is about 7 meters to the back of the dwelling.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah. You're right. All right. Thank you. And yeah, you have a question? Okay. We are in committee now. Please. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you. Yeah, this is a supportable application. It's a long and narrow lot, and I consider it technically a corner lot because it's abutting a large green pea parking area to the west and backing onto a laneway, Joseph DeLeo laneway to the north. It's also close to St. Clair Avenue West. St. Clair Avenue West and the property itself is within the St. Clair Avenue Station, West Station PMTSA, which encourages multiplexes or houseplexes on lands designated neighborhoods. One of the types of built form that is encouraged and permitted is a laneway suite in the rear yard of a property abutting a public lane. While I understand that the 7.5 meter setback distance standard was put in place to mitigate overlook and privacy impacts as a result of second floors, I'm satisfied that in this proposal's perspective, these impacts are mitigated because of the existing context. In other words, the green pea parking, backing onto a laneway that serves commercial uses, also fronting on St. Clair Avenue West. So with all of that said, I'm prepared to move a motion approving the application and granting the variances
I'm satisfied individually and cumulatively they meet the four statutory tests in the Planning Act.
That's a condition.
Yeah, condition number 3, urban forestry.
Yes. Yeah, Katie?
I'll second that. And I would also just wonder if we might tie it to the site plan because it shows an improvement to to soft landscaping with the existing concrete pad being removed in the backyard. Just
Can definitely support that.
great.
Okay, so with those 2 conditions, all in favor?
Oh, did we get, Katie seconded, yes.
Yeah, she seconds.
And I'll-
Yeah. And all in favor, so approve unanimously, thank you. And item number 28 is 751 Indian Road. This is to alter existing 2-story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a rear third-story addition with a balcony and also maintain the existing rear second-story balcony. We receive survey site plan, floor plan elevations, and revised site plan, floor plan elevations, and 4 photographs, a cover letter from the agent, and also the decision affecting the subject property. And we are ready for the applicant.
Yeah, the agent is online, and there are no speakers for this item.
Okay. They're seeking 4 variances, yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, very well. Yeah.
Hi, Madam Chair. My name is Ozren Stambuk. I'm at 15 Moreland Road.
Okay, thank you. It is not, you do not have any opposition, so anyone wants to have a presentation, and any questions to this applicant? We'll wait a little bit. Okay, we do not need a presentation from you, or I do not think we have questions for you. So we are ready to make a decision on this. Do you want to address the panel on any other issues?
No, go ahead. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Now we are in committee, and
I would support this application. There's a moderate FSI increase, but it's in the rear, so there's no visual impact on the street or excessive massing. We have an earlier 2016 Committee of Adjustment decision approving the same renovation, slightly smaller in scope.
Okay.
So shall I move it as a motion that this application be accepted?
And with no conditions, I do not see any other conditions, so, yeah, please.
Again, friendly amendment. Can we add privacy screening for the 3rd floor rear balcony? It is backing, this property backs on to other residential properties.
What do you think? Do you want to get out from the committee and ask whether there's any issues that have our discussion concerning privacy? To the applicant, please come back. We would like to hear your comment about privacy screening on the rear balcony, third-story balcony.
Madam Chair, that is perfectly acceptable, and it is indeed in my cover letter where the balcony size was increased and privacy screening was acceptable and suggested.
Okay, so you know, can you tell us the orientation? Is it which side of the balcony?
It would be the north and south side.
North and south side, yes. Screen, north and south side, privacy screen. Okay, and do you agree to add that as condition?
Yes.
For your motion? Yeah, we're back now. Yeah, he said he agreed to that. That's a good idea.
I'll second.
Yeah, Ms. Dino second with that conditions. All in favor? All in favor. Thank you. You got the north and south side of the 3rd floor balcony. Okay. It's approved unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we come to our last item. Oh, no. 20. Last item is 29. Oh, okay. Okay. It's 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 170 ROEHAMPTON Avenue. It's to alter the existing. No, sorry. It's to alter the development standards for a 50-story mixed-use building. And it's got a site-specific zoning bylaw by permitting a non-residential use, which is a eating establishment, and also at grade, and increase the total number of small vehicle parking spaces to 8 parking spaces. And also this building will contain 599 residential dwelling units, including 15 rental replacement units. I received survey, site plan, floor plan, landscape plans, and elevations, 5 photographs, cover letter, presentation material, and transportation impact study letter, and also the site specific zoning bylaw from the agent. We have also received community planning report from community planning and transportation engineering report, and that's all.
There you, Madam Chair. The agent is online, and there are no speakers for this item.
Yes, they're seeking 2 variances, and yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Give us your name and address. We can start.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Michelle Tiger, planner at Goldberg Group, 2098 Avenue Road.
Yes. No one is opposing this application, and I do not know whether our panel requires a presentation. You have question? Yeah, I don't think we require presentation from you, but we do have some questions. Please go ahead. Yeah.
I apologize to everyone for this late time for questions, but I am familiar with this street. When I was with the T-Lab, I walked this street to my parking area quite often. A question for you. So the proposed outdoor patio, what's the size of the patio?
That's a great question. It would be shown here on the site plan. We also have it in our presentation materials. Sorry about that. I'm not sure it's actually dimensioned. The eating establishment area interior is dimensioned, but no, I do apologize for that. The outdoor patio is not dimensioned.
Is it not 3.5 meters? I saw some dimension there.
Got to be meters squared. It's going to be.
Yeah, so I mean the width, it seems that it's 3.5 meter wide, and the other dimension is 6.8. So yes, 7 for about 4.
You have that number, by the way, the area to the applicant?
I don't in front of me at this second. I'm just looking to confirm it. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Mm-hmm. So, Dino, you want to ask more questions?
Yeah, I do.
Is it like satisfy your?
Sure, I can wait for that too. So there are a number of townhouses just north of what is the corner area of this proposed development and would be close to the outdoor patio. So my question is, are there any concerns with possible noise complaints with an outdoor patio?
We didn't receive any correspondence, and we did speak with planning staff about it. That can be explored further in the site plan process. We're happy to look at, any noise mitigation measures through that process.
Okay.
If it were necessary.
And just a question that comes to mind: will alcohol be served outside in the patio? Do you know?
I don't know at this time. It's not certain what the use will be or what the eating establishment may be. I know that it would likely be some sort of coffee shop, so likely not.
Right, and in terms of activity and time of service and openings and closings, patios were not permitted as of right in interior neighborhoods through the recent discussion about, retail streets in the city of Toronto and opening that up to interior streets and neighborhoods. Do you have any sense of, again, I guess this is a rhetorical question because you probably don't, but any sense of, when this would be open and when it would close, at what time it would close?
No, I don't have a sense of that
Okay.
at the moment.
Okay. All right, those are my questions. Thank you.
Okay. So you have the area of the patio now, or are you giving us the size approximate? Yeah.
I don't, unfortunately. I can't seem to find it, but I would say that it would comply with the permitted size that it would be in the zoning bylaw under the definition of an outdoor patio, which is about 50 square meters. It would be less than that.
Oh, I see. Because I do not know whether if you are looking at your first page of your presentation, there is the bluish purple column. There's outdoor amenity on the ground floor, which listed is only one is 114.7. So no, it's a chart. The first page of your presentation. Go up to more to the chart. It's for the plan. From the plan, in the package it says plan. The first page. Yes, that one. It's on the blue column, right? Zoom in the blue column. There's amenity, outdoor amenity on the ground floor, which listed by the 114.7. Is that your patio area?
No, that the outdoor patio would not be considered outdoor amenity space. It would be in addition to the outdoor amenity space.
Oh, addition. Okay, I see. All right. So that's it. I try to help you find the area. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So we do not know how big, but I think it's with under 65 square meter. She said. Yeah. All right. So any other questions, please? All right, so we don't have any more questions. Yes?
Sorry, through you, Madam Chair, if I can just add, there was a similar decision just north of this application at the corner of Broadway and Redpath a few years ago, and they had the same variance as an eating establishment and an outdoor patio, which ended up being a coffee shop, and they imposed a condition on the size of the outdoor patio to limit it to 30 square meters, and we would be comfortable if you impose that same condition here.
What is the area again? Sorry.
30 square meters.
30 square meters.
Okay, square meter. Okay, the maximum size we can goes for
300.
Yeah. So you think you're happy to impose that on or not? Yeah. Okay.
Outdoor patios are generally limited to no more than 10 square meters or 108 square feet. I don't want to limit or penalize this development. So if my colleagues are, if we're all okay with that, that would be, I would support a maximum outdoor patio area of 30 square meters.
Yeah, since it's actually the applicant self-volunteered this area, so I think that we can take it from her. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, thank you. We don't have any more questions. Now we are in committee. We want to pick this up. Yeah.
Yeah. So as I said, I know this street very well. I know this location well. This is considered, within the small scale eating establishment or takeout as a small scale service or retail use, and I think it's appropriate for the location. And furthermore, zoning bylaw amendment 1507-2025 would permit such broad range of uses such as neighborhood retail and neighborhood interior. So this kind of small scale retail or commercial, being an eating establishment or a takeout with an outdoor patio, certainly I believe fits. Given the context of the surrounding area, there are a lot of many tall mixed-use buildings. I mean, it's close to Yonge and Eglinton. Yonge Street, up and down on both sides, is full of eating establishments and commercial establishments. It's also close to Northern Secondary School, so I can tell you through experience that high school students who walk all the way to Yonge and Eglinton will definitely take advantage of this if it's on the corner very close to their school. So based on all that, with the limitation that we've discussed about the outdoor patio, I'm prepared to move a motion to approve the application and the 2 variances subject to that condition. And I don't think there are any other conditions that we received through staff comments.
Okay, with that condition, who would like to second this motion? Ms. Crawford, second. And we all in favor? All in favor is approved with that with the size condition of the outdoor patio, 30 square meter. Okay, thank you. We almost is 5:53. Thank you, everyone. It's the end of today's hearing.
Hearing is adjourned. Thank you, members.
Thank you, the staff. Yes. Good night.